All right. So, does anyone remember what happened last time? Only person who's banned from this is Joan.
Oh,
So
Vampires.
last time we finished our
Dinkelmeyer's vampire spawns attack.
Right. Yep, that is the name. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
we finished our fight with the weird sound-eating rabbits and the tentacle rats. Purser didn't die. Tally mark there. Day since last mortal danger 0. And we continued making our way to the Transcend Gate, which was the interplanar doohickey that these drow people have lived around for thousands of years. And the vampire apparently wanted to use it to go somewhere. We made it there to a clearing of buildings and entered the structure with the Transcend Gate itself and found that it is in really bad shape. It's like melting down, there's lightning shooting everywhere. I think there were like cracks in like space appearing, dramatic portal stuff going on.
Yeah.
We could taste metal.
Yeah.
Like absolute champions, we instantly moved in and, like experts, just started fixing the problem like we've done it 1,000 times before.
Yeah.
It was transcendental how well we did there, I think. That we could have done a lot worse.
oh, so that wasn't sarcasm.
No, actually they did like 20 plus on almost every roll. 20 plus
Woo.
average.
I was picturing the vibe of like, you have a big like problem with your central heating, and you call this guy, and it's like a 60-year-old man who's been in the business for 70 years. And he comes in, like hits 2 things with a hammer, and then it's suddenly working.
I think it's a combo of that and the A team fixing something where they're just like grabbing duck, because some of it you did ghetto fix, like you did chisel the rock using a short sword, but yeah,
Well, that's
overall
because
it was
we
pretty
just
good.
knew better than the people who built the thing, apparently. Like, we just made it work. And we're fucking brilliant at it.
Yeah. My using my wood carving techniques and a short sword, I did stone, like highly detailed, like runic, magic runic carving.
Yeah, with Purser was providing the like, no, don't cut that one off, that'll kill us all type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like drawing the lines in Sharpie for him to carve out. But we got it done, we fixed it, it's no longer going to explode and take the world with it, which is nice. And then we turned around and noticed that like half of the lizard folk we came in with were just gone because they were standing guard outside. And as it turns out, there were a bunch of flying vampires, swooping down and picking them off. But we fought the vampires, and our guide, Sojer, decided that, all of my people are dead. I'm going to leave. Goodbye. And he went through the portal to the mainland, we assume.
Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I assume he knows how to work the thing to target where he wanted to go, so.
Yeah. He did
Unless we
give
did
you the key
something
before he
terribly.
left.
Yeah, he did give us the key to the Transcend Gate network, which apparently allows us to locate gates. But there's only one on the Caparian Islands anyway, so it's only really going to be useful to us when we're going extreme distances.
Interesting. Did we actually fight the main vampire who's behind all this?
He had already passed through the portal to locations unknown.
He
Or
was why it
so
was
we
broken.
think.
They
Yeah.
left with the key, so he just basically magically kicked the door open and walked through, not caring what he left behind him.
I did want to check to see if there's a way to figure out where he went.
No. Like realistically,
Yeah.
You could go through all of the, like you could just check portal by portal, but that would
But no like
cause some
record
things.
of gate addresses.
No, not that you're aware of, and not as part of the key.
Right. That's fair.
Out of curiosity, like out of character. Was it ever like explained to us that we knew he was that the main vampire left? Because I
No.
remember it being up in the air. It's just
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like we could, he could have left, or he could just have sent in the first wave of Dinkelmeyer spawn
Well,
before jumping us afterwards.
we knew his intent was to use it to go somewhere from talking to Sojer, but I suppose if we didn't have any indication that the portal had been opened, then there could have been a chance of that. But I'm fairly confident that he went through.
Yeah, a big factor in that range is how much juice was needed to basically kick it open.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
Like,
needed some serious magical pull to do that.
yeah. I mean, obviously, where the god just told us that happened is just one of those things from an RP perspective. If like Jotsuzo thinks he's about to get jumped by like a bigger vampire like any second now.
I mean, it's up to you guys, but it does seem like a deduction thing. Someone used at least one 6th level spell and probably more level energy to get this shit open. Um, there weren't any casters of that power in the tribe, um, which before he left, like he told you basics of it, and you have a pretty good idea of like the average caster level. So yeah, it's you could infer that, but there's no guarantee. That's true. Objectively, if your character wanted to be careful or just cautious about these kinds of things, then you know, you could absolutely stay on guard. Given that a few of the minions did run away or fly away, you could be on guard for that too. So,
yeah, we should make at least an effort to try and track them down before they can go to ground and multiply. But I'm not optimistic of our chances there.
well, the good news about multiplying is there's not any other people on the island.
Right, but they will
That,
eventually get somewhere with people.
yeah, that's true. That is true. Uh, but yeah. So you guys in character here. Let me thank you for the recap. Scroll up to date. It is about 9:30 p.m. And I will say you've had worse Sun's Blessing days, Mercy,
Mhm.
but this was an odd Sun's Blessing. It's supposed to be kind of um uh, a day of peace, resolving conflicts. Like during the last war, nations didn't fight on this day. It's typically pretty safe. Occasionally, worshippers of the mockery or the shadow pull some shenanigans, but usually not this level of bullshit. The worst thing that you can think of, and I don't think it was within Mercy's lifetime, but it's definitely away. Yeah, it wasn't within her lifetime, but Thrain launched an attack on the Breelish city of Starlusker on this day, and as a result, a lot of Breelish people are particularly salty towards Thrainish. Um, but yeah, outside of that,
I think it is the most thematic thing we could have done on Sun's Blessing.
that it is true. Yeah, that's
Like, it's what the Silver Flame and, the champion of Dolaro would have wanted.
that's or it's just sovereigns. But
Well, it's
anyways,
specifically for Dolara.
yeah. Um, but yeah, with that in mind, what do you guys want to do? You're standing in front of this stabilized portal, which one sec here. I will find the map and put you guys on.
Some of the lizard folk survived, right?
Two of them, because they followed your uh, your lizard folk friend's advice, and they went and stayed next to Mercy. And that was their weapons couldn't actually hurt the monsters, but they could do other things. And
like helping us to grapple and keep them from moving too far or whatever.
Yeah, primarily movement penalties and such like that.
hmm
But
Just being a nuisance.
yeah, and one of them could cast guiding bolt, so that helped. They
So
still
we
got
got
pretty badly hurt, but they're okay.
so we got this key.
Ooh,
Yep.
and the gate isn't smoking. I just forgot to update the map.
And Purser's like looking at the key in his hands, and
I
yeah.
don't know what Cole Cran's heart is, but we should go there.
I agree.
My guess would be it's some kind of nexus hub of the gate system.
Oh, and by the way, Mercy, the under notes that the caution thing there, that's the message that flashes in front of the quote unquote door when you first entered in. Um, so it's just a tidbit about possible threats or concerns, but nothing serious.
Kuzetsu is still looking like, worryingly at like windows.
Yeah, anti-defenestration is tricky. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna, once I examine the keystone a little bit, I'm gonna like clap some of the lizard folk on the shoulder. Well, I guess like elbow. I'm not that tall. And
Fair
like
enough.
just be really macho bro about it, I guess, as much as Purser can be. And you're like,
There's
yeah,
some
good job, bro.
There's some cultural clashes combined with the fact that you are a tiny puny man, but they once like after a few confused looks at Jotazozo, um, they'll like kind of get the gist based on how he interacts with you, and
Yeah,
they're
we've done
fairly
well
nice.
today.
Oh wait, I should probably take him off.
Yeah, I'm speaking in Elvish, so I'm not sure how much of that they understand. But
That's the trade language, so they got the base of it, and
mhm.
yeah, they nod. The Water Knight, which is a female, is named Yulachil, and the Claw Knight, which is male, is named it's cool. And both of them seem not thrilled to be in this place because like all of their concerns about like giant ruins just got verified. But they
Yeah, fair.
they are confident that they are in in allied with clearly mighty warriors, which that's a good thing. But they're comfortable leaving if you want to, but they're also like they're pretty much gonna go where you go until they get off the island. They both picked up that probably not safe to do too much here.
Yeah. My thoughts here are that we should rest here for the night, because I don't want to be wandering around in the dark with vampires and who knows what else running around.
I really
Yeah.
would not like to fight more of those things that make things quiet.
Indeed. And tomorrow we should see if we can find where those spawns have gone to ground. If we can destroy even one of them, it will be a boon to the world.
Okay. Fair enough.
Indeed, but vampires are difficult to kill.
I'll just look around
I'm
at the
not sure
piles
if
of
I can
ash
share.
scattering
Yeah,
the floor.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I can share that sentiment. I seem to do quite well.
Yes, as I
But
said
not,
earlier, that any difficult, we helped them learn any difficulties on how to die.
true, but these are the runs. I wonder what the real deal's like.
Much
You're
more
exceedingly polite.
intelligent.
That too.
These were almost like animals. Though that may have been partially due to hunger. Vampires have some odd quirks.
Yes, they are quite strange. For the ones we fought were, you they were not like leeches. They were not much like mosquitoes either, except for the flying bit.
Hmm. It is, as ever, a metaphor, but I see what you mean.
Very strange.
Well, let's set up camp and.
Out of character, is the map supposed to be like a weird thing where like my tokens disappeared and it's like a gray like sepia haze?
No. Here, let me undo this. Put you back on. Maybe that'll help. Did that fix it?
No, it's still just like my
Oh, I
token.
know why. Okay, my bad. Your guide there was your light source. Let me put light on one of the surviving lizard folks.
I cast light.
Gotcha. Why is it not? Oh, there you go. That's why. There you go.
There we go.
Yay.
Much better.
Yeah, Purser will just like go over to the corner over here and wrap up in a blanket and just fall asleep.
The floor is. It feels like a mix of metal, and like crystal. Maybe it's very strange.
Hmm.
Just like very similar to the walls. The walls are a lot more crystal-like, but yeah, yeah.
Jotazo is checking out the chairs to see if like they still have like magic cushions after like 40,000 years. Because it
Okay,
looks like
that's
they do in the on the map.
in this. I'm gonna say they don't have cushions, but one sec here. I actually have a thing for giant furniture. Thank you, Giant's Guide to Zendrick. It is a challenge to move the chair, but I'm not gonna make you do any checks. Jotazo is the only guy who could do it realistically. So you're able to, like, with some serious work, haul this thing where it needs to go.
I do have the belt of giant strength
Oh yeah, that's true. With that, yeah, definitely both of you. Let's
to
see, here we
create the
go.
scene from Men in Black, just like
Yeah.
across the floor.
Yeah, it is. It's not quite that bad screeching, but there's definitely rough. Let's see, here we go. Furniture. Yeah, the chairs are about 10 feet tall. The seat's about 10 feet square. Um, and as a result, it weighs 16 times the standard version. So yeah, it's tricky to move, but not impossible. But sadly, if there was cushion there, it has, even in the semi-sealed condition of this place, which it wasn't like hermetically sealed or anything. It wasn't like completely um, sealed off, but yeah, even with complete cover from the elements that long, anything that could rot away has rotted away. But luckily, if there was cushions, that was about it. Um, and yeah, you could climb up onto one of the tables if you wanted. That's definitely an option.
That's the best I can do. Maybe this would be better with a chair, but like the idea is like so I'm off the ground and like the coolness of the like earth or concrete isn't sucking the heat out of me. Like
That's fair. Yeah, that's
yeah,
fair.
like
It's not terrible here, but yeah, that's a valid concern, especially for lizard folk. That's a pretty good concern. Your people are mostly able to, handle like bad weather, but you've never been in an area where it freezes regular, so who knows?
Um, is this door the only entrance into here? Like, there's no windows?
That is, yeah, and it's less a
other than the
door and
portal.
well, it's like literally you touch the wall like around it, or when it's there you touch the crystal and like the crystalline material that makes it up, and it just basically forms the walls kind of take on a liquid shape and just fill in. and it's just you pretty much just will it open or shut.
So we can close this door.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So that's going to be Mercy's suggestion is that we close the door at night, and just due to her nature, she can pretty much just keep watch the entire night, because if something wants to get in, they either have to go through the door or through the portal.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Fair.
if somebody opens the door, there's no way I can miss that.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough. So yeah, you guys set up at different corners on top of the tables, things like that, to try and get a bit of a long rest with your sentry just standing there silently staring at the wall. The faint hum of the portal behind you and the noises of the rest of your party being the only real things that fill this space. Not even much
Yes, the
dust.
sleeping organics.
Yeah.
So inefficient.
Just like it's been for most of the last 40,000 years. This has just been silent as a tomb. Um, and the walls actually do light up a little bit, providing, honestly, not like spotlight level, but providing as much light as you want. Once again, it's a will thing. You touch the wall, think basically how much light you want, and that area lights up. But we're gonna say Bemi just goes over and helps Purser sleep, mostly by like sitting there next to him and occasionally checking the mirror to make sure Mima isn't like calling or waiting or something. And you guys are able to get a long rest in without any issue. Nothing comes a knocking. It's just this deep silence as you guys are in this ancient ruin. Well, I say ruin, this ancient structure. It's not ruined. And yeah, you can't tell from in here because like it's not in any way visible, but sun should be up if you wish it to be.
Yeah. As soon as the sun's up, Purser's just gonna start gearing up to go on a vampire hunt.
Good morning, friend Purser. There were no distractions or disturbances through the night.
Good.
I do not know if you're able to actually achieve any REM sleep. You tossed and turned throughout the night.
What is REM sleep?
You do not know? Oh. It is when your eyelids... deep sleep. You were not in a deep sleep.
Yeah, I was. Wasn't I?
She went over. Her
I'll
face
like-
is an inch from yours. Trust her.
Like, I'm like walk over and pick up Pearl and just look her in the eyes and go, Pearl, have I been sleeping badly?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
Oh no! I heard
Today Purser learns that he needs a CPAP machine.
Pearl thinks you've been sleeping better since you don't have that moth person sitting and staring at you anymore.
Yeah, I just don't have my
I don't know.
bed.
I don't know.
Didn't prepare my
Screams of the
non-combat
damned.
spells today.
What were you saying, other Sam?
I don't know. I heard multiple screams from the damned in your direction.
It must have been outside. Let's look. Come on, Pearl, let's go.
I love how involuntary Pearl has to be about all this. She does not like
Open the door into a firing squad of vampires.
Yeah.
We all go poke around in the bushes outside and find these screams of the damned. It's a good clue. We're gonna follow it.
Give me
I do not know if there was actually any screams of the damned.
Too late. He's checking. Give me a survival check, Purser, as you go outside to look for footprints from these flying vampires.
No, I didn't say vampires. I said screams of the damned. It could be anything.
That's fair. That's fair. Who knows what's out here?
Yeah. It's my job to find and know things.
And if I have to not know to know it, then I'll do it. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Here we go. But yeah.
Oh
15
shit!
survival. That's
Oh
not
come
bad.
on, with a +7.
With a 15 survival and a 19 survival.
I could have had a 25.
And an 18 survival. All of you go around, beat the bushes, look for, horrors beyond imaginings. And nothing really seems hyper lethal. You run into some odd snakes, too many eyes, just that general unpleasantness, but nothing particularly vampire coded or screams of the damned coded.
Sure.
Damned. But yeah, it is a new day, and your lizard folk allies they're gonna wait a while and just kind of like help you poke about in the bushes after about an hour of this, the Claw Knight does go over and he's gonna assume Jotazazo is in charge because of course he would be. He's gonna go over and say, honored warrior, why are we still here?
He is very concerned about the danger of mosquito men. After all, given the damage they were able to do, he thinks they are too dangerous to be allowed to live.
If they kill you, you turn into one of them. I'll just angrily keep stomping through the bushes while I say that.
Okay.
Wise one. Often, nocturnal flying creatures like to hide in attics and buildings and barns during the day. Maybe we should check buildings around here.
Percy just turns and like, you know what an attic is? I did not
You
know the
visited
structures of your
Corvair.
people.
Yes,
You visited Corvair.
I've been to Kuravar. They've showed me many outstanding building techniques. I was amazed to see that the sword material is used for large buildings. It's never,
Sword material?
He is
Yes,
talking about steel or iron.
yes, that.
Did we? Oh, yeah. Yes, I suppose we did take the train. And the passage.
Poor Purser is just having a morning.
He's just never thought about them being made of metal. It's kind of weird.
Oh, now that you say it, yeah.
Okay, Mercy just kind of looks down at the metal parts of her body and just looks back up at you and does that weird blink blink thing she does.
Mercy gets an existential crisis. Yeah, cue the Always Sunny line. Yeah.
Yeah. Who has the best eyeballs out of those of us that aren't distracted talking to a mirror right now?
Like a perception?
Whatever's used for finding people in the woods. Purser is not good at any of those skills.
Mercy has +7 for survival or a +4 for perception.
Okay. Jotazo or Baltazar, how are your findy checks?
Only +3.
Yeah, I think that would be survival.
What check again?
If we're trying to track something down, I think it'd be survival.
I have a +7 in that.
Oh, hey, there you go. Pretty good.
Okay, so I am going to cast a 4th level fly on Mercy and Baltazar.
Ooh, okay.
And take to the air, see if you can spot them hiding in trees or any other likely locations.
Bambi kept my boots. He could fly too.
Bemi is very busy. So Meemaws called him again. Yeah. But yeah, if you guys want to take to the air and fly around for what is it, an hour, I think?
That is 10
minutes.
minutes per spell.
Okay.
I'm fine to cast it again if needed, though.
I always feel like that should last longer, but whatever. Yeah, so for 10 minutes you fly around and uh, I mean, sure, you can give me more survival checks. Sure.
Yeah, I just want to leave no stone unturned, or at least leave no convenient stone unturned.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, circling the area, you get a pretty good idea of the layout of the island. You see that this is built. There isn't much like swampland here. This is built on kind of a rise. Most of the jungle looks fairly normal. You do spot like an occasional invasive species from another plane, or at least with aberrant features. But for the most part, it, you don't see any signs of flying vampire tracks.
Less tracks and more just like
Broken up
a
branches, yeah,
place.
things you might see, I get it, but it's just
Or like any obvious sign of where they could be hiding. Like, oh, there's
yeah,
this
there's no
big
Like a
pile of
building.
freshly dug dirt.
yeah,
Or like
yeah,
any
yeah.
other buildings
There's
that they could hide out of it. Like shelter from the sun
There's
is
two
more.
warehouses right next to the building that we slept in. I will point that out. But yeah,
That's
beyond
fair.
that,
Do we find like empty cases of like, packaging for like super dark sunglasses and like leather outfits and that sort of thing?
yeah, yeah. I don't know why they didn't just think of a cloak, to be honest. Yeah. Like this is a really easy weakness to get around. Um, but yeah, you don't really see any major signs.
Yeah, locked.
Okay, yeah, in that case, come back in for a landing. We did not see any signs that could show where the vampire spawn might have gone, but there is the two warehouses by the portal building. If they are looking for shelter from the sun, that's one of the more obvious places to be.
Maybe. Let's check them out.
Okay. Sure. So not locked now because they weren't. It just it's weird that it auto did that. But whatever. Yeah, the warehouses, ironically don't have the same like general construction. It's not like weird crystal that melts away when you touch it, but it is a set of huge double doors that you can open with. I'm gonna hand wave the strength checks. You guys have got it. You got two really strong characters. If Mercy and Jotazuzo both help out, the doors do open.
Hmm.
Are we doing the one on the left or the right first?
Oh, you're already by the left, so.
Okay.
Blood. Or what I assume is blood.
Before even stepping in, I look up.
That's fair. Uh, yeah, thousands of ice. Yeah, no. At that point, you guys would absolutely need to call me out. No, it's from what you can see. It's just a roof. There's nothing ominous lurking or crawling across it. Um, Built out of the same type of material as the rest of the place. But you do see rows upon rows of stacked ancient crates, and scattered between some of them are some very out of place looking tents with blood splatter mixed pretty pretty aggressively here and there.
Did you say tents?
Tent, as in like
Huh.
erect a tent.
Why would you build tents inside?
That is a good question.
Jotsuzo scratches his chin and mosquitoes. That could be. It is wise for soft-skinned friends to have mosquito nets even when indoors, because mosquitoes can often find ways through cracks and other things.
Maybe. Was this a giant made structure or something more
Giant
modern?
made. Yeah, this is giant
Okay.
made. It's clearly different, like building materials and layout and design, but it's still giant made. Yeah.
I'm I'm just going to ignore the madness of Jotsuzo and like kneel down and run my finger through the blood. Feel how fresh it is.
It's very much dried out. And
Hmm.
just casually peeking into the tents, you see that they seem to have been where bodies have been heaped in like cordwood.
Ah. Just like lots of bodies.
Yes.
All drowned.
Lots of bodies. Yes.
Well, looks like we found Soldier's tribe mates.
The ones that weren't.
I imagine that the smell in here is atrocious.
Isn't that great? But it could be a lot worse. They are borderline mummified, like all liquid has been pulled out of the bodies.
Hmm.
Which
Does
is a bit
anyone know the
excessive.
burial rites of his people?
I'm afraid not. What we can do is take them to the Thrycrane.
You could, yeah. If you're willing to haul about 100 bodies through the jungle, you could definitely. They would relish that.
Yeah, if Pick were here, it's what she would have wanted to do.
And she'd try to do it herself.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just gonna look around for clues. See, I don't know why vampires would stack bodies in tents. Seems odd. There's plenty of good floor space here.
There is, but you do notice that. I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, give me an investigation check as you like look through these tents and look for clues.
Let's see.
Ah, okay.
Hmm.
Okay. We're getting some great and some not so great rolls out of the way early. That's all right. Yeah, looking around, Joseph says, "Oh, it's got to be the mosquito netting. Like it's not hung out, but maybe that's because it fell down or something." Mercy and Purser, you notice that all of the bodies are basically put face down, um, almost as if whoever was stacking it didn't want any recognizable features like looking at them. Could have been a factor.
How strange.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's let me bring up the thing here, see if there's anything else. In the crates, you could start just opening them willy-nilly or not. It's up to you. Let me.
It's probably not
Might
a
as
bad
well.
idea to poke around, yeah. I'll pull out my crowbar.
Fair enough. Let's see.
I
Why
do have
would
a hammer.
but why would tribe not look after 40,000 years? That
Well,
would
and as I'm like yanking on one of the boxes,
What?
they probably have, but
So you You did hear an explanation for that, actually. There was a bunch of containers at the beach, and it used to be pretty commonplace for them to crack them open. But them doing that is why there's infestations of basically invasive aberrant monsters, because like there was some freeze-dried monstrosities that kind of came to life when some of the crates got opened. After that happened like 2 or 3 times, the leader of the tribe, several leaders back, just flat out banned it and just said, "Listen, like we already have enough crates. What are we gonna do with more? Stop it." Um,
Actually,
and
that
yeah.
is there any indication of what's on the crates? Any like labels or anything? Or in the crates, rather.
There's a lot of symbols, most of which, like even most of them look to be like names.
Okay.
Some of them are like city names, you think. Some of them could be just personal or maybe company names if they did business that way. Um, a lot of they just have like generic, you know, little
It's
stick drawings, like, you know,
like trying to
uh,
read a chemical label.
yeah, or but like a common thing is like it shows someone dropping it and like there's a little explosion cartoon and the person's on fire, things like that.
Okay.
2 person left.
Yeah, that
Demonstrating.
type of thing. Yeah,
Yeah, a picture of a stick figure giant lifting with his his
his
legs,
legs. Yeah, yeah,
his
exactly. Yeah,
back,
it's
A
along
bunch
with
of
one
circled
trying
arrows
to, and
pointing
like
down.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's surprisingly mundane, to be perfectly honest, but
what is this giant word Regili?
um,
It's on Darren. It's fragile.
yeah, no one really knows
But
what it
yeah,
means.
so
They swear they do.
just seeing Purser struggling, like Mercy just wanders over and with one arm just goes. "Oink."
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
What?
it pops open and there's like a hiss of air and surprisingly cold. And you're looking at what looks like a bunch of frozen fruits, or like rapidly warming fruits at least. They're not on fire or anything, but were kind of freeze dried or something like it magically.
Hmm. Any recognizable fruit or just
I would
ancient
say
stuff?
giant pomegranates. There we go.
Okay.
It's huge amount of giant sized pomegranates.
Yeah. Well, I'll cut some up and pack it into my chest of preservation at least. I can't take like a lot. They're giant pomegranates, but
Yeah,
you know,
fair enough.
waste not, want not.
Oh, do I have? Okay, I do have purify food and drink. I don't have it prepared, but
So I'm gonna look at the symbols on that box that we just opened and try to deduce which one might mean produce and
Okay.
find another one with that symbol to open up.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Going around, um, you see several. It seems to be a symbol of what looks like a spear thrust through something. Could be a creature or it's kind of vague, but um, opening those up seems to get you a lot of like very much oversized fruits, vegetables, and meats. Just
Hmm.
seems to be food. Um, and one of them is an egg.
Okay. A big egg, I'm guessing.
Big egg. Yep, big egg.
Hmm. So I'm gonna
Could
just,
feed whole family. Yeah.
I'm gonna jot down some quick notes on the symbols that I'm able to discern for Lady Rostrin for when she comes in to take a look. But I imagine most of these will be getting moved to Mishann.
I mean, she would approve of crowbarring open ancient artifacts. Like that's just how you do it. So
Yeah, but like Purser knows he's not an expert. He opens them to make sure that there's not like bombs waiting to explode. But
not in these, at least. Yeah.
there's
what
clearly a system going on here, so we'll do it methodically. And
what was the name of the university that she worked for again?
More grave.
Moorgrave University. They
Uh-huh.
are
Well,
the
Wise Purser.
worst.
Yes, I had questions, Wise Purser.
Yes.
When I first heard of Morgrave, she spoke as if it was very good on this Kuravar science called archaeology and anthropology. Nothing but good
I-
things. But
I
when
believe
I
so,
travel
yes.
with you to Kuravar, everyone has bad things to say. I am
Everyone.
confused.
No. You must have been talking to some conspiracy crackpot when we were passing through Flamekeep. No, they're Moorgrave are good people. They know what they're doing. Lady Rostron has been nothing but a pleasure to work with.
He
Yes,
also
Insight check.
I don't believe you.
I feel like, to be fair, he also could have sat next to a gnome from like Orenburg, who would have
Yeah.
absolutely tore apart like Moorgrave.
That's fair.
Because like
Uh,
the common folk think of them fairly well for the most part. A school is a
Oh.
school, but other the other academic institutions probably not as much. Like they not for the same reasons we don't think well of them, but yeah, they're kind of upstarts if I remember correctly.
hmm They have open admissions to anyone who can pay for it. Ugh.
Yeah. No wonder it's so shitty. Yeah. Well, anyways, yeah. If you guys feel it's safe enough to call in your archaeology friend, bit of a hike through the jungle, but yeah, back and forth. She is ecstatic to study it. She's pretty leery about going in where there's like some of the ancient giant tech is functional. She kind of doesn't want to touch that, but she'll like work around it as long as one of you, or at least one of those folks, is in there with her.
Yeah,
In
I'll
case
stay
like
with her and help out.
Dracula
not to
flow steps
mention,
through or something.
not to mention the whole mass grave.
Yeah, what do you guys want to do with it, by the way? Because between both buildings, it's roughly the same.
So the other like warehouse on the other side is identical.
Is more or less identical. Yeah.
Okay.
Lot
Uh,
of bodies. There's
Mercy
over
is
100 bodies.
Mercy is wondering if if it would be culturally taboo to burn the bodies.
Who knows?
I'd really rather not.
But
They're
Vice versa. I thought flame was holy.
I don't like burning bodies. It's not good.
Why?
Like,
I
you wanna be
understand it
burned?
smells strange to humans.
It's bad for the spirits. We only burn the bodies when strictly necessary. Like when
Then does
there's
anybody have a shovel? I do not mind doing the digging myself, but I do not have a shovel with which to dig.
we're not burying drained bodies around vampires. We're bringing them with us.
Okay. How,
Okay, Mercy just kind of like looks at you at that and
saying,
goes,
if
"There are
dig-
more than 100 bodies, friend Purser, and dragging them through the jungle while having to fend off more of those beasts is not something that I would highly recommend us do."
Also, if they've been bitten, don't they mean they're gonna turn soon? Shouldn't we actually burn them?
Yes.
to to be fair, the Sulatar, they ritually burn all their bodies, and a drow is a drow, right? It's the same culture.
These are Volkori.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
If you are
But
not comfortable with doing the rites yourselves, then I will provide that service for the departed.
No, I'll handle it. But
I say even
you're
Joseph
right.
knows there's a difference between the tribal drow and the thief elves,
Yeah,
as he like.
I know, I was teasing. But yeah,
We'll check the bodies over and figure out whatever we can, and then ensure that they won't animate.
yeah, fair enough. As far as they only about half of them look to have been like, throats torn out type thing draining. The rest of them don't have any visible signs of what mummified them. They just seem completely free of fluid.
Hmm.
But that does match something Purser and Bemmy saw happen with the Uber vampire. He could basically do a really deep breath, and everything in front of him just drained.
Oh yeah, he had like an AoE drain attack. It was sick.
Yeah, so um,
How come I
I
have a
mean,
feeling the purser would not say the same thing that you just said?
maybe, he fights them. Maybe there's some like, yeah, they're very. I respect him like I respect the virus. Um, but regardless, yeah, maybe that was up involved. Who knows? But you're able to set up a couple pyres. It's not too tricky. One of the crates that is promptly cracked open has some type of like very decorative containers filled with oil. So you have, a couple basically drums of oil to dump on them if you want,
Hmm.
to make it go faster. Probably was expensive. It smells like kind of nutty. It's probably cooking oil, but um, it'll do the job.
Better than burning through my supply of sanctified oils.
Yeah, that would, and 100 bodies. That's a lot. Um, so yeah, you're able to set that up and can do some fond farewells or what have you, and the bodies go up in smoke. Um, how many days do you want to spend doing this? It's about a 3, maybe 4 hour hike through the jungle back and forth to the shore where your ship is waiting. It could
Hmm.
just be a day. It could be uh, years. I don't know, however long you want to stretch here.
Out of
Hmm.
curiosity, of all the various like freeze-dried fruits we found, Jotazo would have like cracked open one of every type to see like if there were seeds inside.
Some of them, yeah, some of them have
Oh,
seeds.
good thinking.
Yeah, some of them absolutely do have seeds.
Uh, Probably in free time he is, you know, he's less eating them and more just like cracking open, or at the very least going to anyone who's eating them and asking for seeds. And if at the very least try to get like a good fistful, if not more, of seeds of like every type.
Oh yeah,
To
they're giant size, so fistful. That happens quick. Like the pits for some of these fruits are near fist size by themselves. So yeah,
like,
you're able to get there quickly.
if not that, basically the equivalent of like a pillowcase full of each
Yeah,
type.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, you're able to get a couple varieties. No problem. I will roll later on a random table to see which city, like which ancient city state it was, and just estimate based on where it was, like what kind of crop. But a lot of them came from the, I think primacy. I forget the name of it, but it's basically the Lamenia manifest zone specialty. That was one of their bread
Hmm.
baskets. So,
Oh yeah, that'd do it.
He's probably not doing it very well, but he is trying. Like he doesn't care about the other party members, but he is trying and probably failing to be subtle around the lizard folk.
they're mostly confused. Like I won't say they're following you around, but they're definitely like they approve of burning the bodies if there's some foul magic at work. They're a little weirded out by like people going out of their way to mess with like cursed ancient giant tech. But they know elves do that shit sometimes, and most of these people are strange elves, so they just kind of go along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, Jotato was as well. He was very much like the, the southern elves had many, many years to check out crates and open safe ones. Uh, I am surprised that there is any non-bad things left inside crates.
As I said, they went through it for a while, and after they had a couple incidents that introduced like they wiped out several species on the island by letting out horrifically invasive species, and they said since they lived there at that point it was just a blanket. Stop opening them. It's not. We have enough crates. It's not worth it. Knock it off.
So I think as far as timing goes, we'll finish cataloging things with Lydia Rostron, and then depart again. I'd like to come back with like wagons and a team of laborers and get these crates just all loaded up onto the ship so we can take them back to Mishann. But I'm not sure where the best place to get like a vehicle like that would be, or the
That might
people.
be like a long downtime thing. Like,
Yeah, like a week of labor to get it all loaded up.
yeah,
Yeah, works for me. That's
But
definitely something that could result in fun stuff. If nothing else, some really good, very high quality crates. Like these are, I mean, freeze dried only takes you so far. These things must have borderline stopped time for storage to work this well. So
yeah,
always
we'll have to
fun to
come back later and
loot
pick
that.
them up though. We just don't have the manpower to move them all.
Cool, cool. But yeah, you can hike back through the jungle. You do get not swarms. Apparently, you're able to limit the numbers a little bit, or maybe they've just that made enough space in the food chain for them to not have to attack you. But you do get a couple Hender's rats leap at you, but none of the like sound-consuming things, and no swarms of the rats. So
Yeah, Mercy's happy about that. She did not like the sound things at all.
they like bunnies. Um,
They are.
they got the ears. But once you guys get there and it's clear you're leaving, um, the two knights are very happy to go with you. They would rather be dropped off back at Zalek, but if need be, they'll catch a ride from Biapoko, although they're reluctant about that, but they know they don't want to stay on the island. They they don't want to be here anymore. Because you guys didn't find those vampire spawn, so who knows where they are.
yeah. Rivals or
Yeah.
not, just as though it's taking it back to Zalek. It just he is very wary of
It's like a day
having
extra time. Yeah.
having like dropping off lizard folk in Biapakol for
Yeah, with good
obvious
reason.
reasons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be tricky. They, to be fair, it's not completely unheard of for them to like for something like a ambassador to go through. You guys met Rodaka, and he had like he went up the river. He went up the Pimbem River, but he had like official markings of he the equivalent of paperwork as sort of an ambassador slash explorer.
Hmm.
So that's different than like, yeah, we're just two we're nobility. Oh, okay. What kind of nobility? Low level. Oh.
Oh
But
man.
regardless, you guys head back to Zalek and drop them off. They're very grateful about that, and swear that they will bring stories about your strength, and about how, uh, let's see, they would offer. They're legitimately impressed enough. They're gonna try and get um, the border lord to name the first settlement after your war party,
Ah,
which they pronounce as MKA. So if
I
if you
like it.
want, because they absolutely are going to settleize that, or settleize. They're
Yeah.
absolutely going to colonize Catane Island. They intend to, but it's one of those. None of them like it, and without the weird elves who like kept the worst things low, it's just going to
Hmm.
basically be a port. Nobody actually wants to go inland. It's just that way he has a feather in his cap and could point and say, "We own this island." Um,
In addition to those stories that they're spreading, I want to make sure that they spread the word about, like, if
the
you see any more of
vampires.
these vampires,
Yeah.
kill them.
Yeah.
Given what happened to their friend, I am very certain that they will spread fear of mosquito men.
They will
Yeah.
spread like a plague and destroy everything.
Yeah, they're pretty leery in general about like they're not going to volunteer to go back, but they're definitely going to tell everything they saw, good and bad.
Yeah, just so it's like in that like public consciousness where like people are looking out for, maybe the neighbor's teeth are just a bit too long and sharp. And why are
Yeah.
his eyes glowing red? Why is he out at night?
Yeah.
Why is he
Eyes glowing red,
flying?
eyes glowing red, and flying. Much more obvious signs than sharp teeth. Wise purser amongst lizard.
I just
It,
suffer from
hmm,
albinism, man.
it, I'll admit you have me there, Joseph, so it's not usually a concern for humans. Hmm. The rest still applies, though. If glowing red eyes are the big one.
Well, incidentally, and this is their eyes glow yellow, but
Oh,
yeah,
yellow, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's still some red flags of which they fully agree about.
I
Um,
am really concerned about vampire outbreaks amongst the drow populations because they're already deeply nocturnal to start with.
yeah, yeah, they're not fond of it. But
But yeah. Also,
mhm.
for our immediate plans, how do I need anything else for the report I'm working on for Kolthzad? Purser's
No,
been,
you are
interviewing
spoiled
people and
a
okay.
wealth of information. He wanted population numbers and he wanted where they were concentrated.
Yep.
Um,
And then I've
which
got some, pretty good interviews on, what the plans are and what's going to be happening in the future. Not
yeah,
specifics, of course, but like
yeah, they didn't
sentiments.
share war plans with you, but they did make it very clear, like, yes, we
It-
will sweep across the islands type
yeah.
thing. They don't
And
intend to sit on their laurels.
I've gone in with the assumption that Kolthzad is specifically asking about, expansionists. So
Yeah,
I wanted
yeah.
to make sure that we got that if it was going to be happening.
The
Because it could have
border
been
lord
like,
falls under that. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I'll once the lizard folks set off, after we drop them off at Zalek, I'll, you know, pick up the old phone and give Kolthzad a ring and let him know. Kolthzad, this is Purser Talon of the Mishann Association. I'm happy to report that your report is ready.
Very good. Yes, I will send. I will send someone to pick it up. Um, at Mishann soon. They will wait for you. I look forward to. I look forward to it. And I'm sure I used too many words, but yeah.
Yeah,
Either way, that's an answer in the affirmative. And unless anybody wants to do anything at the various little clan holds as you head back, we'll skip ahead to your arrival at Mishann several days later.
awesome.
And
The
as
only thing Again, because it seems like the sort of thing he would do.
You want to
If
drop the
we,
seeds off here?
yeah, I'll tell Axe and basically tell them like uh, makes giant fruits, but also maybe weird. You know, could bring great bounty, but keep eye on it. It may do strange things. But yeah, basically like turn over all the seeds along with like a description of like this one's giant pomegranates, this one's like I don't know, giant plums, whatever. Like
Yeah. I got you.
uh
I got you. Okay. Yeah, it was a lot of those particular variants like giant so and so's were already pretty common among the people of Alam Cusp. That's a common thing that they use. But there's some variants of most of what they grow does well in like dry conditions. You have some giant fruit variants that are much more suitable for very different climates. So not all of it will grow, but what does may do well in wet, kind of swampy areas. Um, but yeah, the locals there are very much approve of it, and I feel like given the level he came in at, Jotazo was already, I won't say town hero, but he was a figure of import. Um, in among the lizard folk, refugees, whatever you want to call them, freed slaves. And so yeah, there's definitely people there who'll give it the old floating city try.
yeah. I mean, I imagine it's one of those things where like they probably think he's a little eccentric for like never shutting the fuck up about Kuravar, but considering he routinely shows up with like, you know, whenever he gets his hands on like new shit or useful shit from elsewhere, it's like handy. So like
Well, yeah, like useful shit, and I feel like like I said, at his level, he's definitely helped defend from like various monsters of the day that just come out of the jungle hungry for flesh. So yeah, between that, they're definitely, even if you're a little weird, they're totally willing to listen to you to a point. Now, if you started suggesting like everyone dress up in full suits and overcoats like pursers, where they'd be, I don't know if they would overheat, but they'd hate it. They'd be leery, but they'd entertain it. Uh,
yeah, uh, adopting Kuravar garb is later. Uh,
uh,
you know, uh, unlike Cirxel, we must build. Most important thing is Kuravar science and Kuravar medicine and Kuravar engineering. Uh, then we can adopt other things.
fair.
Uh, Loki would probably be one of those things that if like he didn't have a weird wizard shaped head, he'd probably like start like wearing a hat. Uh,
Fair
like
enough.
basically just again based that was a routine thing in like the Meiji era is like affording full Western garb was beyond the reach of the overwhelming majority of people. However, like a lot of people would just go out and buy a Western style hat as basically a like, hey, I'm not a backwards yokel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I'm forward thinking, but I digress.
Lizard folk in a few years, yeah.
Yeah.
But uh, so when you guys return to Mishann, the harbor master, Roland Zeklin, waves to you in a friendly enough fashion, and says as like you guys are unloading. I feel like even if you couldn't get all of them, I'm morally certain Purser would have dragged at least one crate. As you're
Yeah,
unloading
not
stuff like
enough
that.
that we'd need to take multiple trips, but if like we could manage one crate through the jungle, then yeah.
Probably like awkwardly carrying it and falling over until one of your friends like took pity and
Oh, I
like
would
to carry.
Tensor's floating disk it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I'd say probably like the one with like a crate full of the least spoilable like fruit would probably be my vote. Like
Not the one with like the spider wasp symbol on it or something.
I mean, I'm confident that, like, with some security, because we have some, like, giant weapon platforms here. Like, we have some secure places that we can open with impunity.
Yeah, I encourage that.
And
But
nothing can go wrong because we're so prepared for anything.
and we're much like we're much more advanced in these things. We
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 ke-
worship the proper gods. The locals didn't know better. Um,
Well, plus, they had limited numbers. They weren't as good as we are, so,
yeah,
I
clear.
wasn't going to say it out loud, but I'm going to...
uh,
It's
Cor-
definitely be a big part of the argument with the governess about, we should send some people to bring it all here. There's so much stuff.
Jotazo's on board because I mean clearly that's that sort of daring do is probably why Korrivar's more advanced, right? Like he doesn't know. Like
Also,
Yeah.
Purser's a wise man, so
You
clearly
know,
he's well versed in the ways.
they're advanced people because they serve their liquor in little plastic containers.
Oh god damn
Yes.
it.
the other leverage I'm going to push on the governess is that House Orion will be really happy if we tell them what's there. And I think we can
have
get a lot of
boxes.
leverage there.
Yeah, we have boxes that possibly retard spoilage
Well,
forever. Yeah.
Well, no, not that. The giant portal that can go anywhere in Zendrick, basically.
Transcend. Yeah, if you wanna clue them in on it, that'll result in some things.
It's not going to be free, but yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so the way that Sam just said that it will result in some things,
Some things and stuff.
That's
But-
always a bad line of reasoning. You have to, if you're afraid of what will happen just because your DM uses a silly voice, then you'll never do anything.
Yeah, exactly. All of my voices are silly.
But,
Yeah.
But wise Purser? What about anti-defenestration?
There weren't any windows in that building. It's fine.
House Orion knows what they're doing with portals and teleportation. I'm sure they'll be fine.
But if there was no visible windows, that must mean it takes you to nearest window, far away. He like looks around, like worried again.
Okay, just so stop. Don't worry about the anti-defenestration. It's fine. The gate is under control. It's safe.
If you say so, wise Purser.
Door immediately opens.
But as you guys, I really like the idea that this is the discussion still, like after days of sailing, as you're walking and unloading stuff. Roland Zeklin says, so a few days ago, your friend came by. He's a helpful sort, but he's a bit much. So we
My-
asked him to guard the top of the lighthouse. I think he's still up there. Hasn't left since then.
I'm gonna like shade my eyes from the sun and look up at the top of the lighthouse. Is there a giant cat up there?
There is something that is like its wings are golden and they're spread out and it's reflecting sunlight. It's pure white coat with golden wings and horns is splayed out on top of the lighthouse. Yes.
Yeah. Or is that Kolthsod?
No.
No,
No, it's the What was it,
I forgot
Lamasu?
whatever it was that or Griffin or whatever that like you two kept like positive feedback looping each other into really like
gold. It's definitely him, yeah.
cavalier decisions, so we say, because you have lawful good paladin meets lawful good paladin, sharing a brain cell.
Yeah, it was Anak. I just looked
Yep.
him up in the images.
Absolutely, yeah, Anak. Yeah.
I think he was a Lamasu.
Yes, he is
Okay.
the whatever it is that was brought in with the Ravanica thing.
Ravnica.
Wait, who?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But regardless, he seems to be waiting for you guys up there. Either he's just posing, or maybe that's just how he waits. Like he could be like a statue made of like marble and gold, if not for the occasional like flicking of the tail in a very cat-like fashion.
Hmm.
Um,
Uh, mhm.
but
Yeah, I'd best go see him and give him the report.
okay. Yeah. Going through the MKA base, several clerks wave you down with reports of jobs taken, and the status of various beginning adventures. Well, quote unquote.
And like being handed clipboards and signing
Yeah.
things and
Yeah, it's to everyone in the party. Like anyone they can dump this onto. You know, we need a signature from so and so.
mhm.
But once you're through that, either like pawning it off or agreeing to stop and sign things, however you do it, um, you can get to the top of the lighthouse. It's quite a climb. That's it's a very it's
Yeah,
still
it's a
giant sized
giant-sized
lighthouse. I
lighthow.
think it's like 300 feet or something.
Yeah, I'll
It
just
is
cast
exhausting.
fly and go straight up.
Yeah.
Everyone else can walk.
Okay.
That's
You
nice.
know what? This is, I'm gonna say Jotaro doesn't go up with you, because Jotaro, the moment he gets stopped by the first like clerk or whatever, he sits down and asks so many questions about how like everything works, because Kuravar like bureaucracy and all that is one of the many things he thinks would be great to bring. So like it's very like you know uh
Yeah. And the
oh
idea that
wow.
they have this pseudo military force, it's not assigned to anyone, it's just this free military force to handle problems. So it's a little bit like your people's stories about heroic adventure, or about heroic like warriors who just act on whim, but same time there's bureaucracy about heroism. It's very strange. Um but yeah, as for whoever makes the journey 300 feet up, you do have a spectacular view, particularly of the Sea Spray Bay. Like it's all laid out in front of you. And you hear some scraping on the roof as Anik flies around the
Oh,
tower.
I just found his picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a golden lion, or golden winged lion with horns. He lands gracefully on the platform, looking over all of you with faintly luminescent eyes. He says, Hark, thou hast returned from thy task. Do you have the knowledge my master seeks?
I do, Anak. It's good to see you again, my friend.
Wondrous! Yes, it is fantastic news to hear this and to see you once more. Have you continued the fight? It must always
We
be fought.
we have. Just a few days hence, we cleansed the world of undead filth, vampires.
Ah, yes, that's I heard, was it related to the one that was freed during our previous adventure?
The very same. We couldn't find the master, but we slayed many of his underlings before they could take root.
And he lets out a joyous roar that's pretty like window shaking, and said, thy reward is doubly well earned. Uh, uh, you put the paper in the
Yeah, I have like a
container on
big
my back.
like
Yeah.
stack of paper like wrapped up in brown
Yeah,
paper and
he
string.
has basically a harness buckled to him. Your reward is there as well. He's like kind
Ah,
of
of
drops a
course.
little bit of it to just show you how to unstrap the decent sized chest. Like
Yeah, and I'll like
chest.
float up and make the exchange. I'm
Yeah.
happy to give
Turn
you a verbal
closer.
report as well if you wish.
Oh, I must be off. But I will come back. This place has a good view of the sea and such lively folk below. I've heard there's both great good and great evil taking root, but I know you will be here to watch it. And
As long as I can. We'll be happy to
Friend
host you
Purser,
here
is this being
anytime.
a friend of ours?
He is indeed a good friend. He helped us in an epic battle against the what was the name of that Medusa? The Stone
the
Carver?
stonemason,
Stone
yes,
Mason, that was it. Against a Medusa named the Stone Mason, a servant of the Dalkir. He gave
horrible
his life
creatures.
then, but it was a fight well won.
It
Oh,
was
it is
was
a
not.
pleasure to meet you, friend Anak.
Yes, you are being unique. I have not. What? Where do you hail from?
From the city of Sharn in Breland.
Ah, yes, back on the other continent. I have heard of these things. Good. You seem to have a cure sent to you as well. And he looks around. And did anyone else bother to 300 feet of stair climbing to get up there?
Nope, Jozo is still asking questions.
And how's our monk doing? Did you just monk the stairs, or were you like, I'm good? Other Sam, you with us, bud?
That might be a no.
Yeah. Uh, well, then in that case, we'll say he helped out Jotazo with, you know, not
He helped.
completely overwhelming that poor
Yeah,
woman.
he
He
probably
saved the
knows
clerks
some
from
of the
Jotsuzo.
questions.
Yeah. But yeah, so with that, he I won't say strikes a pose, but it's just one of those naturally he seems to have a lot of drama in him,
He's
and so
very photogenic.
yeah, it just, his mane catches the breeze slightly as he stands tall for a moment and then leaps into the air and soars off.
I'll make sure to
Um,
look suitably impressed. It
I
always pays
mean,
to grease the wheels a little bit.
yeah, you're not sure how much of it is him doing that, or how much of it is just him, like he probably can't turn it off. So, um, but yeah, he flies away and opening it,
Well,
you'd
well, I won't open it right away. I'll wait
yeah,
until he's like a few miles gone and like over the
yeah.
Yeah,
horizon,
Mercy
and I'll.
also like Mercy waits until there's no way he could possibly ever hear us before she turns to Purser. Friend Purser, is he actually a friend of ours? The way that you spoke makes me think that you were being, I would not say facetious, but exaggerated.
He is exhausting, but a friend worth having, so I make sure to treat him with the respect he expects.
Hmm.
It's it's always a delicate dance dealing with outsiders.
I have never seen a being like him before.
Oh yes, I think he was Shavrin, right, Sam?
Shavrin Celestial Forces, yeah, which is
Right.
the most like we fight because it's the good fight.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do when you win? What do you mean win? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Shavrins. They're
We do it because it's fun.
You're back.
well, no, they do it because it's the right thing to do. It's
No,
not
it's just
fun.
fun.
It's struggle and death and pain and misery
But
forever.
yeah, yeah, Chevrolet's fun. But anyways, yeah. So you guys have, when it feels safe to do so, when you unbuckle the chest and see what's in it, there's inside are a lot of giant-sized platinum coins. If you were
Ah.
to, as far as just the metal, you'd place their worth at roughly 1,000 gold per person, just from the precious metal.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so some coinage.
You said
And
1,000?
yes, it's or 100 platinum, but Gold is easiest to keep track of.
So yeah, I'll arrange like through the newly formed
nice.
guild to have it turned into
I have money again.
useful
Woo.
money. Rather than like dinner plates made of solid platinum.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a conversation piece, but it's cold hard cash is good. But yeah, once you've done all that, the party is now level 9,
Oh.
and you guys by the end of this month do owe your most of you upkeep on your homes.
Hmm.
Purser, Ludger. Okay, so Ludger and Mercy 7. Both of you, your yearly upkeep tax, whatever you want to call it, is coming out of the monthly profit you make. So that'll just I'm going to be when this session's done, I'm going to post a channel with like everyone's holdings, personal holdings, so that they can have a quick reference to see what they're making and yada yada. But Bemi, I'm just going to add the money to his sheet minus
That's
what
fair.
he had to pay. Ludger, it's not relevant. Purser, you're either using the tower or you're just summon base. Jotazuzo, I think you've just been sleeping in the Adventurers Tower. Like, there's plenty of space.
Yeah,
Balthazar,
whenever he's not in normal talks.
yeah. Balthazar, your yearly cost is, I will send it to you. It's like 16 gold. And a couple silver.
Man, I don't know if I could make it, man.
Well, I mean, it's strictly speaking, it's not actually tax. That's just my headcanon to excuse the upkeep costs. But yeah. Let's see. If you for whatever reason can't pay that, it's just the place looks like shit and you don't gain any benefits that you would
No,
have
I
gotten.
got, no, I got the money.
Yeah, I would hope so. You just got 1,000 gold. Um, but it would be for Jotazuzo, as far as that question. Ludger was not with the party, so he doesn't
Okay.
get the big
I
bonus.
figured that. Just wanted to
Yeah,
make sure.
he could come and hit Jotazuzo up for it. But that's up to you.
Uh, I get the
And
feel. I mean, just as sorry, Ludger's going to be making money anyway, so.
Yeah. You make where is it here? I have it somewhere, but like I said, I'll post it for everybody so you can see what you're
and
making.
just to make sure I got the money right, we got 1,000 gold, but I mean not everyone, right? It's the money we got.
1,000 each, yes.
1,000
Oh
each.
wow, okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. You guys are
In
level 9.
in the form of solid platinum coins the size of dinner plates, but I'm getting that like laundered to fix it.
Yeah. So yeah, add 1,000 gold to your sheet and then take out expenses if you have them. And I will add the Bemi's he pays out a little bit more because he paid for a big expansion, but let me add that to the
Yeah,
sheet.
speaking of expansions, my house having the garden and the alchemical lab, so I can make health potions.
Nice.
Yeah, it's you make them at like a quarter the cost or something, or even less. But yeah, um,
And I'm working with that one potion place in town to like kind of like that partnership.
yes, yeah, they're the ones who sell it for you, and that way you don't have to worry about like bargaining for sales. You just give it to them and they sell it.
Mhm.
Okay, I added some coin to Bemi's sheet. He is, yep, okay. And yeah, it's but don't like I said, level up to 9. However you're gonna do it.
I'd almost forgotten about that part. I was doing like spreadsheet magic.
Yay! Yay! That's actually worth something. Huzzah. I always
Yeah,
get
that's not a
nervous
bad roll.
before hitting roll for HP because I have the worst luck with that.
I mean,
You should have seen Mercy's luck in the fight last week. She like
yeah,
crit 3
No,
times
see,
and
it happened
like
because I wasn't here.
yeah, exactly.
yeah. Mercy was like almost max damage several times against them. Yeah.
It was beautiful.
There we go. That's the wizard average right there.
Well,
That's
yes.
exactly what I do with my wizards. It's bad, and your hit points are bad enough. A 1
Yeah.
would be devastating.
Ooh,
One is pretty devastating, yeah.
I now have the ability to summon a celestial.
Me too.
But together, your powers combined, you
I was just about to say, by our powers combined.
you're able to summon. He can't help you in any physical way, but you can summon the presence of your lion friend, and he cheers you on as you
No.
get mauled.
I'm summoning the celestial that Purser thinks is actually useful, which is the Silver Flame.
Rude.
Yeah,
He was very
and
useful last time, I will say.
he was very useful, but he's like, he's a work
lunatic.
friend. He's not a get drinks after work friend.
He doesn't know that.
Right, and I'm fine with him just, living his best life somewhere else.
Oh, man. Oh my god, this spell would have been amazing.
By the way, I don't ever want to look at your sheet and not see Healing Word prepared again. I broke my own rule and swapped out one of your spells.
Oh, okay, so usually I do have Healing Word, but there's like something specific that we were doing that I had like switched that spell out for.
Oh, I'm aware. It's just that offends me at the same level of seeing a wizard without prestidigitation.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, except I'm always here, so you can't change my sheet. And I keep detailed out of game notes and fix it if you do.
I mean, I didn't actually change hers. I just swapped out what was prepped. I didn't like
Right.
add a spell or something. Adding a cantrip that wasn't there before, you're gonna notice.
I thought Paladins got Summon Celestial at 5. Did they
I
get
know
it
their
earlier?
spells are pretty. I mean, they're half casters, so yeah.
Where is it? I see Summon Greater Demon, but that's not really what I'm looking for.
You could. That would be spicy.
Okay,
You know what? I would definitely like all the demons you summon would be Shadow in the Flame flavored, but yeah, you could definitely summon demons.
Yeah, it's not what Purser wants to encourage. The voices need to stop, not get closer.
You just keep bringing Meemaw really good gifts, and yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want
Realistically,
it to become expected is the problem, because then I have
yeah.
other problems.
And if I'm
Then the
being
shadow's not in the flame, it's in every reflection.
yeah.
No, and I get to have fun reordering everything so that it's alphabetical.
Yeah, I remember I did that for my wizard in the sadly late lamented Crownlands game. I had an obscene spell book. Order of Scribes Wizard is fantastic.
Order of fuck you. I have everything.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. Like, that's the thing. It's dependent on, like, anytime Sean was like, hey, you got any magic items you really want? I want this one thing from my spell book. I want to be able to swap spells using a charge, like any spells, and I want more spells. That's
Yep.
I
Don't
don't care.
worry. Let me just reach into my ass. All right, I got the spell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When I wasn't dropping psychic fireballs, I was just spelling everything.
That's annoying. My the tough feat still isn't working, so I'm gonna have to manually enter that.
Yeah, I always wondered about that, to be honest. With
And just to be 100% clear, level 9 now, right?
9/9, yep.
All right,
Well, not
making
actually
sure so I
9/9,
don't.
but 9.
You know what? I'm feeling lucky. I am not lucky.
I mean,
I use inspiration.
sure, why not?
Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
No, okay, the worst part about that is like he at
It's not
least
under the
allows
free
us to
roll. Yeah.
yeah, like he at least allows us to re-roll that once, but
But
twos.
That's why I always roll nat twos.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's literally listed in the thing is like, yeah, having a nat 1 sucks. I can't help you for 2 though. And but if you have an inspiration, that's fine.
Oh, good. Tough
Oh
dig
man!
work for me though. So yay.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
I'm level 9. I got another key point. I'm even faster now, and now I can now just run up surfaces in water now.
Nice. Yeah,
Pretty
no,
good.
I like a lot of the flavor for Monk. But I don't blame them for getting a pretty serious rework for the 5.5 or whatever. Like,
Proficiency bonuses.
yeah.
Oh, hey, and our proficiency bonus went up this level.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, new access to new spell stuff, proficiency bonuses.
Mercy, are you picking up Ray's Dead?
Yeah, I have raised
I
that.
guess you're a cleric. You get it automatically.
Yeah, I get everything when I go up a level, which is nice.
Yeah,
I'm just limited on spell slots.
I'm
My
trying to decide
DC
what
is
to
now
take for
19.
Paladin.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, and I
See
didn't do the
here.
usual level up stuff because I wasn't sure, like, when you guys would get here. I thought it was this session,
Right.
but I wasn't sure.
It's all fair.
I'll remember it next time. Out of curiosity, what if anything did Jotazuzo get, or is he just fighter man?
I got Indomitable.
Okay, hey, there you
Yeah.
go.
I mean, it's always the fighter level ups is basically click, roll HP, click, done.
I mean, I like
Uh,
that about it, but yeah, that's fair.
other than like whenever I hit, uh, typically it's every odd level, sorry, even level, except next time because next time I'm getting a fighter thing. But yeah, the whole you know, boost your ability scores or pick another feat,
Hmm.
sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I had
Oh,
20. That's why I had 20 in all my physical stats, and in the other one, Badari.
yeah. Honestly, that's one of the biggest appeals to me about playing a fighter is I can finally make I can make all the stats like, yeah, I want this guy to be Adonis. Like, it's,
That's
it,
that's what Duresso was like. He had 20 Dex, Con, and Strength.
yep, yep, yep. Because the poor guy was the front line.
The only
Well, no, my horrible fucking ranger was like swapped out with you a couple times to sandbag stuff.
I welcome death.
I did.
Sure.
I find it funny that like you're trying your damnedest to get that character killed and you couldn't quite manage it.
Yeah. It was-
It's like how he couldn't die, but Duresso died like 4 times.
I know. Yeah.
It's fucking bullshit.
I had that character like fucking run into like razor. He basically jumped into giant blenders and still didn't flatline. It was God, it was annoying.
I think
A wizard got killed. I was like, oh, this is some bullshit.
I remember dying from the waves because of that goblin with time stop.
Yeah,
And
sorry about that.
I just got fucking yeeted into the wall, and that counted as damage, so I died.
Yeah, friendly fire sometimes isn't my bad. My bad, bro.
No,
Yeah.
that was the goblin we were fighting with time stop. They just controlled the waves.
No, the waves was me. That was Gerbo. Sorry about that. I remember
Could have
that too. I
could have
remember doing it.
could have made the trail way easier if he was dead.
uh,
I remember, yeah, then we fought God of Death, and of course Duresso face tanked it and permanently had his hit points reduced.
yeah, you were like a quarter of your hit points down by the end of that. Yeah, just like no fixing it. It's just permanent. Good thing it was the final fight.
Pretty sure Duresso was like 80% scar tissue by the end of the game.
Yeah. With his horrible wife, like that was easily the most like everyone who saw that couple was like, Jesus, why they don't they get a divorce? They hate each other.
Simple.
Other others
Simple politics.
others say played the most ridiculous noble like pseudo noble marriage. His fiance literally tried to have him killed like 6 times throughout the campaign, and then he went ahead and finished the marriage. That's the
Hey, we became the highest one of the richest merchant families, so we married the actual number one.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, they had kids, so I guess it was semi stable.
Yeah, those poor kids. But yes,
What do
everybody
you
let
think
me.
I said? What do you think I sent them off and be trained by the other party members? Like, here, yeah, you're now under tutelage.
eh, Um,
Stay
but
with my friend. Here's your new apprentice. Get him out of here.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Everybody let me know when you're done leveling up.
He
I'm
needs to
set.
get out of this prison,
I
this
will be in about 10
zoo.
seconds.
Oh
Gotcha.
yeah, we have a. Oh, you want to be a cleric? Well, my only cleric I knew was kind of a dick and dead. So, to church you go.
Yeah. You te- what I thought was hilarious was Sean like had Gerbo as like he was basically stuck in purgatory doing like penance for. I was like, you could have sent him to hell, dude. Like he, I've been fine with that. Um, but Dan, you said in 10 seconds.
Yep, I was just adding a spell.
One of
Gotcha, gotcha.
I remember one of the kids went to be trained by Gaston, the greatest monster hunter.
Yeah, yeah. Literally the Beauty and the Beast hunter. Yeah.
Uh,
I
I'm
think
just
the other
im-
one was a bard.
But
I'm just imagining like you playing Gerbo and literally doing showing this world is imperfect.
no, I played it straight. Like there was a lot of foreshadowing, but I think one or two people caught on, but everybody was just like, "Well, he's weird, but eh."
Oh,
And yeah,
Sam, can you give me
yes.
3 tokens or
Uh,
actors, whatever Roll20 calls them, under
okay.
pets?
Okay, I can do that.
I just can't make them myself.
Ah, gotcha, gotcha. All right, Pats, here we go.
That'll be my
1,
summons.
2, 3.
And then they can be blank, and I'll just fill them in later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And let me edit, assign this, and where is it? There we go. And 1. Gonna name it 1. 2 and 3. And 3 here.
And then if we have 10 hours of downtime before shenanigans, I'm scribing some spell scrolls.
You have a little over 7 days, so yeah, you got
Okay.
time to do what you need to do. Um, so like about a week passes by. Is there anything that anybody wants to do in that time period? I know Scott BRB'd, but anybody else? Week of
Um,
downtime. Do
yeah,
something to do
just
nothing.
making more potions. I know that I used up quite a bit of stock. Um, tending to my garden, just kind of like.
Yeah, as far as your monthly profit here, like I said, this will be in a proper channel, but since a month does go by, we're starting up in the next month. That's Ludger's. Where's Mercy's? Mercy, here we go. Monthly expense. You have okay, with your expenses and blah blah blah. Mercy, you make 17 gold per month. So there you go.
Yay.
So add that in.
Bad. The MKA base is costing 50 a month ish.
Yeah, which
It's variable because it's based on how much money we have in the party inventory.
yeah, that's fair. Hey, just start, there's giant ruins everywhere. You can do a delve.
Yeah.
I mean, you have
I'm
sorry.
definitely negotiating like a percentage of whatever profit we make from opening all the crates. Mishann gets the stuff, but we're getting a portion of whatever proceeds.
That is fair. I will have to I'll have to write some stuff up for systematically opening all the crates. Because it's a bit of a Russian roulette. Like there's no Doom Guy stuff in there, but they did occasionally ship live things, so.
Yeah, I fully expect some nastiness, but it's nothing that an entire like town of Corvarans can't handle.
Yeah.
And us.
I think most importantly, us.
You're
Mercy,
the ones
like standing above it with her halberd, just like
you're the ones who
just
accidentally
waiting.
start the what is it, brown mold infestation in hell. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure like Vidalis and some other houses will be very interested in buying what we find in there.
Yeah. Oh, it's a gold mine. Ludger is this is going into Ludger's pocket, not Jotazuzo's, but Ludger is making a profit of 55 gold and 4 silver per month, by the way, if you're back yet, Scott.
I am.
Okay. So you can add that to his sheet if you want to. Like I said, I'll put this up proper later. That's because he opened up I don't know if you borrowed money, but I think you did go absolute zero and opened up a bunch of trading things. But yeah,
I didn't borrow, but I did basically like go down to only like 100 gold pieces. I mean, only, but
promo 1 to
debate
8 character, yeah. But yeah, there weren't any other holidays for that month that I'm tracking.
The door open.
I don't see any coterminus. All right, so
No, I mean if it's
yeah,
the
go ahead.
stampede of sorry, just a moment.
But yeah, we'll say as we come in, it's the first of the month. You guys get some payouts, you pay some bills, so to speak, and whoever's at the MKA offices, you get a letter asking for the party to come and speak with Guard Captain Theda Uraglan at the Giant's Pen office, which is that's not where she's based out of, but maybe she has a reason to talk with you at the town's only newspaper.
We have a newspaper?
You do, the Giant's Pen. Yep. Started by a little halfling woman from Sharn. She apparently got some kind of legal payout. It was very vague. And she used the money to come here and start her own newspaper. It's a once a month issue at the moment, but yeah.
Yeah.
But who is willing to go meet with, like, does the whole party get together to go talk with this woman, or is it like, you're just gonna send Representative Jotazuzo or something?
I certainly will. Purser doesn't have much to do in the day-to-day.
Okay.
Just arcane research.
Gotcha. Anyone else, or
Mercy might go. I have.
BRB?
I'll be right back, but
Yeah.
Mercy might go just to catch up with her about Sharn stuff.
Okay.
Jotsuzo is definitely going because he finds the idea of newspaper absolutely fascinating.
Yeah. And other Sam, you hanging out with the party, or are you doing cool guy
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah, with the party.
Okay. Yeah, then heading out as a group. It's a bright morning that would be hot if not for the breeze that's blowing off Sea Spray Bay. Mishann's busy streets are already filled with people going about their day to day. Most of them are headed out to the fields to work on the crops. Given the distance, they usually catch a ride on an empty wagon that's being hauled by gentle bellows. People sit next to one another reading through this month's issue of the Giant Pen, or simply chatting. Um, Other folks are heading to local businesses or the dock, both of which are, well, all of which are thriving with the explosive growth of the settlement. Um, it's it's one thing to have been here as it grows, and it's another thing to leave for a while and come back, and it's just, yeah, all of a sudden it's a real town. Um, you see a few of the militia slash town guard walking through the streets in groups of two or three. They're dressed in simple leather armor, green uniforms, armed with a shield on their back, a club at their side, and a light crossbow um, on the back as well. Most of them they either greet or are greeted by the folks who go by them. Even with how much bigger it's gotten, Mishann is still small enough that anyone who lives here for any amount of time can learn about their neighbors and the guards that keep peace in the area. Um, it's still it's a bustling small town, but it still has that small town vibe where you know the cop or the policeman who like goes by. Um, the but as you make your way through and head to the Giant's Pen here, it's based out of a surprisingly large office, given that it's a monthly publication. Going inside, you can see why it's so big. About half the building is dedicated to printing, with rows of desks set up for House Civis scribes and even a pair of copy glasses near the back. Um, it's the equivalent of photocopiers, kind of. Uh, the other half of the space is for reporters, although most of it is empty, just a lot of empty desks. It seems that Staris Thistletop was probably a bit over enthusiastic about how many reporters she'd have or need for a fledgling paper in a settlement that's less than 2 years old. Um, but standing near one of the copy glasses in the back is Captain Araglin, who's speaking with the halfling woman who's operating the glass while talking with her. She's standing on a couple pieces. Interestingly enough, like a lot of it is set up for people of varying heights. They're set tall enough for the more standard human height, but there's always a little set of stairs to like operate it if you're halfling or gnome. But yeah, as you guys approach, they both look up, with the captain nodding and the halfling holding up her hand for an enthusiastic shake to whoever's like in the lead, so to speak.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say,
I'll return in kind. Oh, go ahead.
Joe Tazo, very eagerly shakes her hand. With like, uh, you know, uh, you run a newspaper, yes?
Uh, yes, and you all must
It
be the Mishann Association. Uh, a bit of a formal name for adventurers, but it's easy to sell.
Indeed.
So I've been wanting to meet you a lot since I first arrived here. Captain's been pretty protective of you. Not that there's any need. I've got nothing but admiration for your profession. You really should arrange for an interview with all your members. Something to give the fine folks of Mishann a chance to learn about the heroes in your own words.
Ah,
And she's got a wide
that's
smile
not
as
a
she
bad
says this.
idea. Hmm. We'll have to
that
take you
that
up on that.
it would be printed, yes?
Absolutely.
Uh, it- uh, it's very fascinating. When I was in Kuravar, I saw that you would use newspapers like this to it gives information, and you could read it. Yet it was so cheap and available that I saw people wrap fish and uh, pastries in it. Yes.
Uh, well, older ones, yeah. Actually, I can walk you through it if you'd like. Over here is the scribing station. You see, we're currently trying to get some house civ, and she starts like mile a minute going. Before Captain Ireg then just kind of like leans in and cuts her off. Um, maybe later, Miss Thistletop. As I promised, I'm not going to try and keep you away from them anymore, but I would really like a chance to speak with them alone now. Reporter, for her part, kind of huffs a bit before handing the captain a stack of about 100 sheets of paper. Fine, I should get back to work on next month's issue. Here's your flyers. I already got payment for them from the governess. And before you leave, um, well, she kind of like looks from person to person. You probably set up a time for interviews.
Of course. We'll be in touch.
And she runs, not quite runs, but she definitely is somebody who's just built in a hurry. And it's a bit jarring, given once again, it's not that people aren't working hard here, but you're working largely at your own pace. Like you're in a hurry because you want the crop to be planted, not because you just like being in a hurry. Um, she still has that Sharn thing going for her.
Right.
But the captain waits until Staris goes back to her office before speaking. I've never really liked the press, even if that one seems decent enough. Um, so if you're going to work with her, just keep in mind that reporters usually only want to sell papers before anything else. Hmm?
Yeah, I'm used to working with that type.
Really? Thought all of yours was
I'll,
controlled by the church.
I'll like think back to dealing with Anak.
Now, as for why I wanted to speak with you, I need the MKA's help to investigate a smuggling ring that's operating out of Mishann.
Already?
Well, yeah. I wouldn't normally bother you with something this mundane, but evidence points to it being parts of the ring being involved with the Volkori tribes and the Sulatar clans. The governess is worried about relations with both groups, and McKay has the most experience in dealing with them.
What do you know already?
Well, what really kind of forced our hand here is the spread of a drug called Qualasht. Um,
Is that the snake heroin stuff?
yes.
God,
You
Don't
probably
worry, my friend.
I'll
got.
take
Don't
you,
worry.
Baltazar. Look what you. Ugh.
He hasn't even shared it.
No, I just haven't.
You probably saw the proclamation in the paper about it being illegal for non-elves. These flyers, she shows you a pile of papers she has. It's a simple poster with the words, Qualashed, illegal, dangerous, and always a bad trip. It has a rough illustration of a human man screaming as he's engulfed by snakes.
She just like strokes his chin and
Uh,
nods. Yes, this is,
Jo-
why would anyone take it? This is incredible.
Joseph though would happily like take flyers because this is legitimately like wonder technology to him. That
Yeah, he's
like
not gonna hand him out. He just like, I love
well
the
him
idea.
Like
it's him.
collecting Pizza Hut napkins.
It's I mean it's basically him being able to like just flip through like you know his people were barely like literate at before this, and this is literally like even a few times that like you know some did learn how to read and write. It's still like you had to like manually copy. Like
Yeah. Well,
that sort of thing.
so yeah, the way they copy it here is via basically magical quills that like someone with House Civis basically sits down and they write something and like several quills mimic the writing exactly, or no, they don't write it, they dictate it and the quills write it down. But either way, it's pretty impressive. But yeah, she says, so these are part of an effort to keep it from becoming the drug of choice here in Mishann. The local elves have apparently always used this stuff, and it just doesn't seem to hit them as hard as it hits everyone else. We can't flat out ban it, since apparently some of the Volkori shamans use it in some kind of holy rituals. So she she kind of questioningly looks at you first, or like, you're religious minded, maybe you know.
Their use of it seems benign enough. We've encountered it a few times as we explore the islands.
Question.
It's the main thing smugglers are moving, but at least from what we can tell, honestly, we suspect a lot. Most of it is just moving through Mishann. They're just using the town to avoid paying taxes as goods pass into Elam Cusp territory.
Hmm.
That's not good. But are you willing to help the town out here? If you can uncover the smuggling ring and stop the flow of narcotics, the governess has authorized a payment of a few valuable potions, scrolls, and as well as her grandfather's armor.
All right.
We'd be happy to help.
Question.
Yes.
Out of character. What is like the lizard folk like view on the snake heroine? Like,
So
th-
I would
is that
say
something we stay away from? Is there like a shamanistic use of it? Like,
it would vary pretty widely from tribe to tribe, but as a whole, it doesn't help you guys a lot. It because you dream, it largely gives you bad dreams. But it gives a similar effect as people, but it's not as addictive. Maybe it's just because it's been around. Um, but by and large, it's pretty much almost entirely just ignored. It's the southern elves who are big into using it, because since they trance, it just gives them a different experience trancing. And they swear there's some holy elements. Like, their big shtick that you've heard from their people is that it's tied to some type of like semi-divine serpents or something. It's very strange. Um, that like they don't worship it, but they acknowledge it as like a good force or something to help their trances when they're trying to do good things. So,
Hmm.
but anyways, yeah. If you agree, she just lets out like a relieved sigh, and she's not gonna say anything at Jotazuzo like grabbing several and just like, but she will gently like take the rest so that she can start hanging them, or have someone hang them for her probably. And she'll say, "That's a real relief to hear. I'm not really sure where you'd start. Whoever's doing this has kept fairly quiet about the whole thing, which shows they've got a real pulse on the town. It wasn't even officially illegal until recently."
Hmm. No idea where it's coming in. Just the port.
I assume the port. I can't say anything else. If it's got to come from the south, it's where they make it.
Fair enough. We'll look into it, and we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, and with that, she goes out to where her second in command is waiting for her, and hands some of the flyers over to him to disseminate to the rest of the crew, the force, and there'll be flyers hung up around town by the end of the day. Yeah. So it seems you guys smuggling/drugs. What do you want to do about it?
Grand Sorcerer, I do have the spell Zone of Truth. If we can find people that we could question, then that might give us some more leads.
okay.
That will
First things
Oh,
first.
go ahead.
First things first. We need to check out the number one room of the local motel, the place above the local Chinese restaurant, and the trap house.
Anyway, that spell will certainly be handy, but Does Mishann have any laws yet about the use of enforced truth magic in
So it's under
inquisitive work?
it is under the Corvaran is it Code of Galfar? So like they made that's a big point. That was a point when they sort of signed the alliance with some
Mhm.
of the Drow forces, Wayrub and Olenquai. So they're under that. I don't know off the top of my head. I know there are some restrictions about that, but it's primary like I don't remember them exactly. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's definitely a tool we can lean on, but I don't want to like have that be the linchpin.
We gotta let him go. You used unlawful. Yeah. No. Here's the thing, they're under that code for all intents and purposes. You are on the frontier of frontiers here. Like
Right.
it's the guard captain's already like she would be running this place way less liberally if it was up to her. Like the governess is the one who's trying to like do no rule of law type thing.
Hmm.
The guard captain's a vet. She would just be doing whatever works. So if you guys rough people up or kill them, she's not gonna fucking care. But
Yeah, I just want that to be step 2 and not step 1.
yeah, no,
Something,
I get you, I get you.
something starts road hauling people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that would be hard to hide, but typically if it's like, oh no, they're resisting arrest, really? Well, I'm not gonna report it, so it doesn't matter, type thing. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so you got Zone of Truth. Any how do you want to do this? This one is much more open-ended.
Yeah, it's hmm.
You think we should bring back Ludger?
That is up to you guys. However you want to do things. Ludger doesn't have a lot of underworld contacts, but um, if you think he would help, you could swap him out.
Hmm. I figure we would bring him in if we need to talk to like any of the trade missions or like any of the diplomatic stuff. But otherwise, I'll stick with Jutsu for now.
Okay. Yeah, so he's just a reference. Yeah, fair enough.
So, Purser thinks we should just ask around at the docks. See like what the people are thinking.
Okay.
What
Just
up,
head.
fellow kids?
Yeah.
I imagine that there's still a sizable community of like wizard folk dock workers.
It's not huge, but yeah, there's definitely a fair number just didn't feel like leaving, or they some of them literally go back and forth semi-regular. Um, it's easier to make money fishing here, so they like that. Um, but
Probably
yeah,
seasonal work or something along those lines.
yeah, something along more like closely knit towns, and a lot of it is gratitude, and they feel it's a combination of gratitude and like pity because they view like humans are so fucking bad at fishing by their standards, so they just kind of yeah, they just kind of view it as we'll help out type thing. Um, in the same way, like your cat views you as a big incompetent cat. Like that's kind of their these people are awful at fishing, so we'll help. Um, but yeah, if you head to the harbor, it is. I will say, like the town may be medium sized and growing, closer to small, but the harbor itself is huge for a place of Mishann's size. Um, and it's clear that when you contracted the House Lyrender Windrights Guild, they built with growth in mind. Over a dozen docks made from tough bamboo. A lot of them use ancient like the ancient giant stone piers as their foundations.
Hmm.
A mix of Corvaran style fishing ships, Volcoridal canoes, and Sulatar trading ships, mostly Biapo clans, are docked. Crowds of sailors and traders and just everything else sweat in the heat, with traders watching their goods getting loaded or unloaded with sharp eyes. Um, most of the drow either through liberal smearing of the oil that the Volcori use, or the goggles that the Sulitar prefer, to allow them to be out in this kind of light. A mix of gulls and glide wings fill the air. Their bickering mostly involves squawking loudly over fish and any dropped food stuff. And yeah, it is just a lively place. So you're just gonna, the plan is just kind of like go around and randomly check in with folks, or um, anything directed.
Jutsuzo would definitely be talking to his fellow wizard folk.
Okay.
And definitely from the perspective of, like, have you have you seen any suspicious activity from the thief elves?
Okay. Immediately profiling them as they. Yeah.
Of course, Jutsuzo is going to think that they're like the masterminds and the problems.
No, I get it.
Like,
I just was chuckling. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so that's the lizard folk route. Any other clans ideas?
So Purser is effectively a lawful stupid paladin in most cases. This definitely isn't his forte.
Mhm.
If no one else beats him to it, he is just going to start asking people where the drugs are.
You love that. All right.
I recognize that that's not the best route, but
No, but it's what he would do. No.
yeah.
I've been
Yeah,
there.
no,
I've
actually,
been
like, I'm kind of wondering if Mercy wouldn't do something very similar, actually.
there.
She's a
Where
combat medic.
where are
Like,
the drugs? Specifically, he's asking about the addictive substances. Yeah.
this-
Clueless cop and good cop, yeah.
No, you gotta get into the mood. So I'm gonna do the snake heroin to look like I'm a guy who needs another hit.
I was gonna say, I hate to say it, but between his experience with it and having, like, Lord
Lord
Tons of
Tons of
Fun,
Fun.
who
Yeah.
probably has dabbled at least once, because there's no way Lord Tons of Fun,
Every substance that
Avatar,
was available. Yeah.
And
Avatar of Excess, it hasn't done it at least once.
it is very like noir detective to do a line of cocaine before investigating.
No, I love it. All right. Yeah, if you don't, inspiration for everybody, because that's all really good. All right, so first things first, let me look up what I wrote down for actually doing that drug. Let's see here. I know it's smoked.
Toasty.
Well, it's actually kind of like it's kind of a mash. It's got a faint like salt smell to it. Burns the nose. It's a mixture of snake venom, brine, and some special stuff. Let's see here. Not that you know that in character.
Right.
Let's see where I put it. I could have sworn I put it under Hardy Loot. Oh, here it is. Yep. Since I know it will eventually come up, here's what it does. All right. Dream serpent venom mixed with mystery ingredients. Smells vaguely salty. To create a psychoactive drug. Dose causes. So roll me a die 4. That's the psychic damage you'll take upon taking that smoke, that puff.
Just right away.
I mean, I'm assuming. Yeah, I'm assuming he just lit up. Other Sam, could you roll me a die 4?
D4 for what again?
1 die 4. It's psychic damage as you smoke.
Oh, I didn't actually do. I wasn't actually gonna do it.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you were like, I'm doing it. Oh, okay. All right, then never mind. Then fair enough. You don't have to roll it.
No, but I could say I'm a supplier in town and kind of work with. Say that. I mean, I got a pound of fucking heroin on me.
Everyone knows who we are.
Yeah, I will say you
They
guys are all.
disguise me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You could go for a disguise kit.
That's fair.
That is an option. Is anyone skilled with disguise stuff?
Good one.
Well, someone
Rage
might
into
be.
your ass of everything besides fire spells. I'm sure you have it by default.
What?
Disguise other self. Yeah. Um,
Come on, you have every other spell but like fire magic. Come on.
honestly, as someone who does a lot of illusion, I don't think you can actually cast something on other people until like
Not easily, yeah.
6th level. It's a pretty surprisingly high level one, and it's really more for a group of people. But
And hear me out.
Yeah.
There is a disguise spell available to pyromancers. You just have to give Balthazar like
oh, wait a minute.
second and third degree burns on his face, and he'll look entirely different.
Yeah.
So I can't hurt the innocent with my flames.
Here. I will
So
point
he
out,
would have to take the heroin first.
you have
Anyway?
access to hats of disguise. Like you guys still have 3 hats of disguise.
Oh,
Basically,
we
that are armbands,
do!
but I just remembered. Yeah, so he could just use that.
I forgot about those.
I can
I'd
do that.
forgotten, yeah.
I do have Arms and Visage of the Astral Self, which allows me to modify it so I could just make myself look a bit bulkier.
You could, yeah. I mean, whatever you want to do.
Give myself the System Shock 2 glasses.
Okay, yeah. So how do you want to disguise yourself, just so I know how the NPCs will react to you?
Well, what kind of do we know? What we know about the smugglers again? Oh, it's AFK.
We don't know anything. We
Yeah,
know that
like,
there's stuff coming in from outside the town.
and she's concerned that it involves both groups of drow. But that's it.
I think both groups being the Volkori and Sulatar as like a monolith.
And
Yeah.
I forgot which drows really love the heroin.
Certain subgroups of the Volkori people.
Yeah, they use it in religious rites. It's probably more recreationally used up north, the Sulatar, but meh.
Get me to look like a Sulatar then.
Okay. Is there actually trying to? I think once again you're the only. Were you the one who was? There was like one person who disguised themselves. No, it was Ludger last time. Okay. Yeah, then you can just duplicate Ludger's disguise as John Sulatar Drow Elf, and yeah, you now
Okay,
look like that person.
I need a good name. I don't know how they're called.
Wasn't the
Let
last
Oh,
drow disguise
Greg.
like a Jimmy Bob or something? It was something really dumb.
let me.
You
Oh,
can call
yeah.
yourself Old Greg.
Oh yeah. Billy Drow Bob. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
He could do that.
Sam's regretting some certain life choices at this point.
John Ralph.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, not that fucking guy.
Anyways,
And
yes.
then you
I
show
don't
me
think-
where the Taj Mahal is
I
and
don't
the
think
snake heroin.
I don't think Billy Drow Bob will work here. You know, I think his drugs are more marijuana.
I will use the same generator I use to generate all their names. One sec here.
Billy Drow Bob will be dealing in sparkweed, I think, not snake heroin.
Loom, here we go.
Ignore me just accidentally misclicking on things.
No, you're good. You guys leveled up. I knew that would be a factor. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Zendrik, Shindali. I'm gonna type in Hick, and so whatever the name for that is your name. Hick. Mep. There we go. Mep. Yes. That's the translation. Mep, Hick,
Actually,
woodchuck.
Trevor and I came up with a really good name the other day. Beebadil Berdandan.
I don't
So
sound like a fucking hodunk.
It's Mep, Owler. There we go. I'll send it to you.
How does Mep, is that like actually a name? Because it sounds hodunk.
I literally typed in the language translator for the Eberron drow, and I just typed in the words hick woodchuck, and that's what it spit out. So there you go.
Does Bemmy have a better name?
I don't know. But there you go.
All right.
Yeah, just for a little bit of context there, Sam, Trevor managed to get Beebadil out of the Mrorhold's name generator.
That sounds right. Yeah. I mean, anything Trevor plays, you're gonna like. There will be pain regardless, so it might as well start with the name.
All right. All right. I
But yeah,
got my hat. Is the hat require attunement
it's
or?
an armband. Yeah, it does require attunement. Sadly,
Oh,
it's
okay.
just basically a hat of
I gotta take
disguise.
something off. I gotta take something off then. Fuck! I can't. I can't take off the belt or the ring really, and I can't remove the tattoo.
I mean,
That's
you
true.
probably don't need the belt for investigative stuff.
Yeah, until they find out I'm not some hodunk.
They
Well,
immediately the knives come out.
Oh no, you'll
Y-
only
y-
go from being a ridiculously overpowered monk to just being a regular monk, which is overpowered.
yeah, you
Hold
were
on.
fine before you got
If
the
you're
belt. You'll be
if you're
fine
tuned
now.
into the tattoo ends, the tattoo vanishes and Neil reappears in your space. Okay, so I could just take it off.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm comfortable with that. That's
All right.
you know what? For my headcanon is just basically going to be the tattoo's magic stops working, so like that way you're not magically pulling something in and out of your skin. We'll just say like the magic doesn't work for a little bit until you reattune to it. There
Yep,
you go.
I got the hat, and plus I don't know. Plus, I think my tattoo was from a lizard folk anyway, so it'll kind of be weird.
Yep, yep.
All right, and then guess I start looking.
Okay. So we have checking it out. We have three methods going at once. We have checking with the lizard folk at like around the docks, fishermen basically. We have going around and asking Sulatar Drow, hey man, you know where I can? Is John Holden in town? That type of thing. Hopefully less ridiculous. And we have just accosting random people. Where are the
No,
drugs? He's,
no,
that's the
no.
two only.
I'm going to like the guild. Like I'm guessing the docks where it all is, so the guild probably be a good start. And I'm just will be asking probing questions.
Okay. So we've got so we'll just go in the order. We'll do fishermen, random people, and Windwright's Guild. That's fair. Um okay, so fishermen, give me a you're a known commodity in town. Give me a persuasion check, and then roll a d4 and we'll add and that'll be your little bonus because they know you by reputation if not directly. 19 plus a d4. Pretty good so far.
Oh,
That's still a 20. Dirty 20 is a
yeah,
20.
something like that.
Um, so you're able to talk around and you know convince some folk to most of them it's just casual. They're happy to talk with you. Part of part of why they don't completely outdo the human fishermen or just Corvarian fishermen is they're approaching it from a very like we fish, then we bask in the sun for a little bit, enjoy our lives, then we go out and fish again, as opposed to just like doing it all day constantly. So there's definitely time to go talk with them, and they would say, what would the fishermen know here? Let me look. Um, okay, so what are you specifically asking them about? I guess I should say first here.
So I'm not going to be completely like oblivious to it being other parties, but I'm definitely leaning at it from the viewpoint of like uh talking about like the Suatar angle, like very much like right off the bat, his bias is that like someone's pushing something that's like as over the top evil as snake heroin. It's got to be the Suatar. Like only they would like do something so ridiculously over the top as snake heroin. Uh,
Okay.
But on the other hand, if they're like, if they do offer like, hey, like, I didn't see any Sulitar pushing this shit, but I did see so and so. But I am very much like, bordering on like, I am concerned that, someone is pushing the insert our word for snake heroin.
Yeah. And it's the old cop thing of like the Detective Pikachu thing where he keeps to, you know what? I'm not going to say that in a recording, but yes, we'll say there's a bias. Um, so,
Let
I
me let me
I-
give that a second thought before I commit.
See, I haven't seen that movie, and I have no idea where you
It's-
thought you were going with that
no,
sentence, and now I'm concerned.
specifically, it's the Flash Gets rendition of Detective Pikachu.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
that explains a lot.
Where,
Oh, ground type. Damn it. Yeah. So, anyways, you've you you go around and you're checking with them, and they would know. Most of them would be like kind of they would seem a little surprised about like really it's not completely unknown, but they're just surprised that these folk are using it because they're so strange and maybe they don't touch this.
I know, yes. It's strange that anyone would mess with the snake heroin.
Well, the
It,
southern folk
it
always have.
doesn't even feel good like other drugs. With don't bad time later. It's just bad followed by more bad. Why?
Hmm.
Why would anyone use this? I don't know. The elves and Kuravar are strange.
Yes. Well, there are some folk that some of the strange folk that linger around the docks that are very fond of the um, it's not mazel, but it's like it. They're very fond of that burning that fire that burning liquid that they like to drink. Some of them mentioned it, and they basically direct you to like the local drunks, or at least a few local drunks specifically. Um, and you're able to find out that the there is a rumor that like this is what you're able to get. It's not directly relevant as far as you know, but the only info that the drunks have is that stuff is being sold, but it's mostly in town and they haven't heard anything about it on the docks. Like they haven't heard anything about it coming and going. um but they will gladly gossip about. They think there was a bad fire in some of the warehouses that someone must have tried to cover up because it's like it all leads back to them thinking it must have been like stills for moonshine. um Probably wistful thinking, honestly, because they're drunks, but that's the information you're able to get from kind of pounding the streets or the docks specifically, so that part of them. um Switching over to our dynamic duo. Um,
I'm not sure if dynamic is the word I'd
well,
use here.
well, I mean, anyways, so how exactly are you guys approaching, and what are you asking random people? Are you just like,
So,
that guy doesn't, his shirt's untucked, sir, that type of thing,
so
or how are you
well,
doing
it's
this?
I'm gonna find the drug dealer people. The people who look kind of grungy and suspicious.
Okay. In a frontier town where like half the people here are refugees or want to desperately forget where they came from.
Like people who have
Yeah.
suspiciously nice clothes that sit on the side, sit on the corner every day.
Okay. So
Don't expect that much nuance from Purser and
I
probably
got you.
Mercy.
I got you. Okay.
The drug dealers are the ones that look like drug dealers.
All right, yeah. Hey, stands to reason. Then in that, just roll me a d20 then for anything else if that's who you're targeting.
Okay, do you want that just from Purser, or do you also want it from me?
Either or. Okay, 16. I'm just gonna check here.
This is gonna be bad.
Okay, Purser, you see a fellow like rambling to himself on the sitting on the street.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Filthy, obviously, a user of the devil's lettuce, and whatever the kids are calling it these days.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
weed.
I'm
he
just saying, if his name is Geraldine Poon, I'm going to defend him.
you're busy.
No, it's Peter File.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Anyways,
they did it.
so you have a target. Obviously, this guy's if he's not a dealer, he's obviously high on that supply.
Oh,
So, how are you and Mercy approaching him?
so I just cut my usual dramatic figure, coats flapping in the wind, and I stop next to this poor, unfortunate soul. And what's he doing right now?
Rambling to himself?
Is he just wandering through the streets talking to himself? Is he
No, he
sitting?
sat down in the shade. Like he did get himself out of the gradually increasing morning heat, but he is like rambling.
Hmm.
Murmuring to
So
himself something about they're everywhere, they got eyes everywhere, and it's actually all part of the businessmen's club. You know what that's actually an acronym for? And it's all going into like secret societies of dragon infiltrators, and it's just rambling madness.
yeah, I'll go and lean in next to him and give him a little nudge with my elbow and say, "I know what you mean."
Go. And he stops and looks over. You're in your what besides silver, do you have any obvious like Thrainish symbols, like Thrainish Knight,
I
Templar
mean,
Order stuff?
apart from the uniform of a Templar of the Silver Flame, no.
Yeah, okay, alright, yeah, just want to double check.
Yeah, I'm literally a cop.
I knew it! And he's going to like
Hey.
leap up, practically screaming and frothing. I, I lost this fight, you sons of bitches on the. And he starts
So
rambling about a particular fight during the last war. You see, he's missing part of his hand.
I'm working from the inside, and I'll tap my nose.
No, you are. They got him in your eyes, and he's just screaming.
Okay, hang on. Let me see if I
It's time
have.
for the other cup to come in.
Mercy just comes in and butt checks him.
I rile him up, you calm him down.
This'll fix you up. Pulls up a nightstick.
No. How about not? Just I do have calm emotions.
Ooh.
Hey, that would be useful. He's a little uncalm. I rolled, and one of the things I had on this was vet of the last war, and I went
No, it's a
from
good one.
there.
Okay, wait. Can we tell which war from his accent? Is he from?
He's probably Irish. He's probably
Basically, everyone here is Sirish. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Except for
Okay,
the
yeah.
party,
So
apparently.
calm emotions. Yeah, he needs to make a Christmas saving throw against DC 16.
Right. Let's see what he gets with his -2. He
Yeah,
got
20.
7.
Nice. Okay. So in that case, yeah, just Mercy kind of gives Purser a flat look. Just rests her hand on this guy's shoulder and casts calm emotions and just turns on the vet charm.
Okay. Fair enough.
Weapon battle are you speaking of, friend?
He is going to reference a particular battle. Let me look here. I keep forgetting. I think it's not Siren Sound. The one river here. No, Cyan Sound. Yeah, he's going to mention a particular
Oh,
battle on Cyan Sound. That that he had to fight. Let's see, be near Eston probably. Is that still Cyan Sound? It's hard to tell, but yeah.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, like it's a weird thing. But anyways,
Hmm.
yeah, he would name that. It was one of the many times that Thrain took a whack at Sire doing a water landing across like the giant aquatic place. There we go. Boy, you can tell I'm been running for a while. But yeah, it's you've heard of that fight. That wasn't at all your front line, but you heard of that one. It was a bad one. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty bad for both sides. That particular fight, we'll say, was mostly just a pointless waste of life because the
So like
attacking
Gallipoli.
the attacking Thrainish forces dramatically underestimated how rabid the defenders would be, and like the equivalent of blast, it would be underwater blast discs, we'll say, basically water mines.
Jeez.
But like half of them didn't go off when they were supposed to. So some Navy from like based out of Eston had to go out, and then they did start to go off. It was, yeah, both sides basically just like meat grinded people.
Yeah, okay. So just knowing more about that, she just starts going into like her psychological trauma module. Um
You know what? I approve of it. Honestly, without the spell, it might not be as helpful because this is more it's very textbook is how I like. Am I right in that? Where it feels like you're kind of it's literally a module. You're you're going off programming. Am I correct in thinking that?
yeah, I'm just kind of like how at least how I'm kind of perceiving how Warforged are kind of like brought up to speed.
Yeah, they're
Um
literally programmed slash trained after they're quote unquote born, and then they're just sent out into the front lines. That was how they were set up.
yeah, so she's like accessing like the psychological trauma module and tying in her own experiences like just like
Yeah, with a
uh,
26, it's pretty good. You're able to pull it off pretty well, and that combined with the spell does calm him down enough that he is suitable to answer questions about whatever he may or may not know. Um, what do you
and
guys want to ask?
could I use should wh- should I roll another medicine or a insight check to like kind of like see like okay, is he actually on the snake heroin or is this just straight PTSD?
I would say with that medicine check, you're able to figure it out. This is almost entirely PTSD. You can. I feel like Warforged can't smell, but you notice that he's got like a mostly
They,
empty bottle in his back pocket.
they have ordinary human senses. They just
Do
don't
they?
need
Okay.
to eat or anything.
Yeah,
But
then
they
in
can
that
like
case, you.
mash their face hole full of food and taste it.
Oh, cool.
If they have
Uh,
mouths, which
yeah,
Mercy
that's
doesn't.
that's fair. But yeah, you can smell, rot gut basically on his breath. Like
Ooh.
clearly that is not if he's doing it's not to say he's not trying it, but his the liquor is not helping his
No.
severe PTSD combined with probably exacerbated other conditions.
Um
Yeah.
boy, he's in for yeah. Shit. Does Purser speak giant?
I do not.
Damn.
He speaks Elvish?
Yeah, Elvish and
I I
Draconic.
speak I speak common and giant, and that's it. Um. Okay, in that case, then I'm just going to like try to clue Purser in the fact that this guy is not who we're actually wanting to talk to. Just
Nonsense. Look at him. Yeah,
friend
Percy's just.
Friend Purser, I would very much appreciate it if you just stand over there and be silent while I talk to the patient.
Of course. And I'll just
Wink.
yeah, I'll go like lean against the corner of a nearby building and like very nonchalantly stand watch at like military rest.
Yeah, like small, occasional, literally like children point at you as they're like their hands are being held by parents as they go by. Like it is the most standout thing imaginable.
I'll like give
Normally,
them friendly waves as they go past. You know, I'm becoming a public figure. I have to commit.
yeah, normally it helps. Like normally you guys have a presence going places. It's just this time, you know, it's not as helpful. But yeah, what would you like to
Um,
ask this poor lunatic, Mercy?
it is difficult to get past what happened in the war, isn't it, neighbor?
Yes, I mean, it's not no good. It's no good. Not no good sleeping at night. No, not a lot of good dreams anymore. And I keep telling folks there's something wrong here. There's and sometimes the shadows try and whisper things to me, but they don't know that I already know that. Like there's something wrong in this town. There's a rot.
Purser suddenly becomes much more interested. He like locks on, but he doesn't interrupt.
Yeah.
Gonna say, imagine, it also occurs to me is like, it's probably a horrifying thought, but someone with PTSD that's so fucking bad that's like, I'll take the snake nightmares over the war nightmares.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But sorry, we interrupt you, Mercy. Go ahead.
Yeah. So at the whole like the shadows whisper, like you know, experienced that a little bit with the psycho lady that we drove out of town. So she just kind of like quickly glanced at Purser just to make sure that he caught that. When she sees that he has, attention returns to the vet, and my kind do not dream, but I understand how difficult it can be for organics to endure the horrors of the night. Has there been anything that you have been doing to address that, to make the pain stay away, besides
Oh,
the alcohol?
yeah. He was in the process of getting out the bottle. I heard friend of mine, old Dolgan down the road. He's a little bit soft on the war stuff, you know. But he said he had some stuff that was that well, he didn't say it helped, but it was different. I don't know, different dreams.
I think I can understand that. If the dreams are bad, but not as bad as what you were experiencing, then it might seem to be an escape.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I'm going to drop a lesser restoration on him to see
Okay.
if I can't like just
I mean, there's
I wouldn't
several
say like
things that
sober him
would
up,
cure.
but just
Yeah.
like, end a disease
But
or a condition. Just like
undo
just
liver
trying to
damage.
help him.
Yeah, okay. Sure. Yeah, it fixes something up, and just of his various health problems, he has less of that one. Um,
Yeah, pretty much. Just like anything to soothe them. Trying to think of
Just in terms of homeless man ramblings, so it's like, dragons, and I swear to God, there's a horse going around spying on people.
I wouldn't be surprised. Um, do you know who I am? Do you recognize me?
mm, you're one of them. metal and wood folk that Kenneth kept churning out. I knew it was all part of the process. You seem like an all right type, but they're trying to replace us.
Okay. Quick little like blink blink. I think that the road would be a lesser place if it didn't have all people, warforged and organics.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. No, yeah, and he's like, he's still calm. He's not like perverted to screaming, but one of his many interesting theories about race is like what Warforged. They're here to replace everybody. Yeah.
I've heard that before.
Uh, 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 um, this is actually a topic that I am rather interested in. To hear it from the organic point of view, being warforged and being created, I am still trying to find my own purpose in life. But I would
Oh
very much
yeah, I
like
got some
to.
literature here. And he's gonna like, and he'll pull out some like filthy sheets with like ramblings written on them. Here.
Mercy accepts him with like grave solemnity, like she's as so as like a holy scripture that she's being handed.
Yeah.
Um, but I too served in the war. Um,
No, that's what they were trying to replace us for.
let's see. She kind of dips her head. Um, you are not the only one who has lost. I had 8 other sisters who were part of my series, and they are no longer here. And I think about them many times,
I'm
even at
sorry.
night while I am in standby.
I'm sorry to hear
I know
that.
what it is like to lose.
I had people I was with too, and they're almost all dead. And the other ones are like they're dead. They ain't talking to me no more. Yep.
It hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, a bit. And he habitually just like takes a nip at his almost empty bottle. Oh, he sees it's empty. But yeah, well, you've been an all right sorta, I guess, for one of the replacers. Um, but I got to get back to handing out these flyers. Uh, did did you need anything else? I'm sorry about your other replacement people you was
My
built with.
sisters, yes.
Yes, sisters.
Um,
Yeah.
well, seeing you, I think that perhaps one of my purposes in life is helping individuals like us who have been through terrible things in the war. Perhaps if we could speak later. Do you know where my home is?
Uh, no.
It is near Talon Tower. I
Uh,
have a
uh,
garden and a potion shop.
oh, all right. Okay. Well,
Strictly speaking, the tower's not there anymore.
if I'm
Oh,
around
okay.
there, so it was that big place with around the temple that kept coming and going. Uh, and like that was really coming and going though. That wasn't me. Um, yeah, I'll stop by.
It's
Yeah.
the proof.
And you know people in the potion shop. Maybe you could help them get me some cheaper stuff. All right. Well, I got some literature to hand out, and
What is your name, neighbor?
one second. Random name generator.
As Mercy is just starting to get like roped into creating a veteran support group.
I'm surprised there isn't one already. What with
Yeah,
Ludger
actually, I was
gone, but
about to like drop a Ludger's name.
There, there is the issue is like Ludger's is pretty specific.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
a
not to
like
mention
abominations of science
they
support group.
Yeah, it's
they
very specific for people like him. Yeah.
not
yeah.
only that, but it's it's very much like you drop him off and he comes back like 15 minutes later with a note tagged to him to like right war, wrong side.
Oof.
Like,
Yeah. There's Salin. It's just, that's what my mom called me. Salin.
And that would be Salen.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, that was more a question for Sam,
Yeah,
not.
no,
Sam.
that's.
Okay. But yeah, so she nods and just, I really do hope to see you again, Salen. So we have
Salin.
both
And
Salen.
all right, but remember, you gotta watch out. You maybe you're one of the good ones trying to don't replace people, but also watch out for the whispers. There's something rotten. All right, and you can tell the spell is wearing off a little bit as he as he gives you that last little bit and then shambles his way probably to the west, we'll say.
Purser just like
Perhaps.
watches him as he goes.
Dropping a lot of truth bombs.
Yeah, he
That's
is.
my concern.
Yeah.
the cards are
bomb.
replacing people with robot people.
He didn't drop a truth
Cyborgs.
bomb. He dropped a truth nuke.
Exactly. But
Or a truth warning.
but we are at 7:30, and I would be happy to
Okay.
keep going. But if you guys want to come back to Balthazar's investigations at the guild, we can start up with that next week. What do you guys think?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I will stop recording.